Hello everybody, how you guys doing? Welcome back to Honey's Anime. We are here on YouTube and we're going to be going over our lists of post-season anime for winter 2021.
Yes.
This is Liz.
Hi. You know me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm Liz, editor at Honey's Anime. Here back as usual. We're going to talk about, like Fonzy said, winter 2021 anime. It was a packed season, lots of sequels, lots of second seasons, lots of continuations. So we're going to talk about a lot of those. But yeah, so here we are. Let's do this. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome. Yes, welcome. Good to have you all back, whoever is there. Nobody 17, always welcome here. It's great to see your presence, as always.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get right into it. 2021 for winter was, like Liz said, packed. There's just so much. I think total we watched around 24, 25 series this season, and I am pooped.
Seriously.
I don't know what to say. There were a lot of pretty good ones. A few bad ones. I think we all know what those are. Well, like, at least in my eyes, maybe like two or something like that. But we'll see what's up. But here, let's go over our first one that we finished and see if you guys liked it. All right, we got Wave.
Yes.
Liz.
Oh, me?
Go first.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do the minute thing because otherwise we're going to be here for hours.
Forever.
Wave, let's go surfing. This anime was really good. I liked it. It's definitely not like your typical sports anime. Mm-hmm. I guess it's not really even a sports anime per se. It's more of a drama that happens to be about surfing. It has some pretty dramatic moments in it. It has a lot of emotions with like the loss of a friend and everything, but the surfing part is really cool. The art's good. The design, it's really well written. I think the story itself was really good. It was originally made as 3 movies, and they made it as a series for us over here. They also aired it as a series in Japan. But I really like it. It's definitely up there in one of my most enjoyed anime series of this season. Especially since it had a good wrap-up. It had a good ending, which, as we're going to probably talk about, not every series had that. So this one had a really satisfying ending. It could continue, it could not, but I felt happy the way it closed, the way that the boys dealt with their situation, and the way that the main character deals with everything and just moves on is really nice. So overall, I recommend it if you like drama. It's great.
All right, and my turn, if it starts.
I'll do it.
Okay, there we go. So Wave is awesome. I loved it a lot. I've surfed a few times in my life growing up. It was great. Had an interesting experience with the pelican while surfing, and a little scary with some jellyfish. So, seeing this, it didn't show any of that, so it's not like it's, reality in a sense. But it was a good sports show. Definitely did seem more dramatic, like Liz said, especially in the beginning. What happens? We have show, but overall it was a nice, comfortable, like really comfortable watch. I really liked it a lot. It was pretty chill. It taught you about the waves, certain aspects of surfing, which is good. It didn't go too much into detail. CG of the waves and them surfing. Awesome. It looked beautiful, especially when was it Masaki? When Masaki finally gets in the tunnel of a wave and he's just going down. Oh, that was beautiful.
It was really nice.
There was a really interesting twist at the end. Don't know if it was just like a what was it, like a little spiritual kind of nod to show.
I think it was a spiritual thing. I think it was him in spirit being
there, but I don't know. You kind of just see him in his background.
Where was he this whole time?
Exactly, I know, right? But then his brother even kind of sensed him and ran off to go try and find him. So there was
I think this is just what I think, but I think it was just because Masaki let go of that. Like, we should let go of things. Things happen in life, and we let go of them. And he finally let go, and maybe Sho was just there to say, okay, bye. And just let go, because he walked away. He didn't go towards them, which if he were alive, I think he would have. He just left. And the fact that he's all in white, too, is like...
Yeah.
I think it was nice. It was nice. I liked it. I think it was a great
white shirt with khaki pants.
It's blonde hair.
But
Anyway.
yeah.
Anyways.
So now we can go ahead and we can do the
So that
next
one's good.
one.
Definitely
I
recommend
have a nice little nifty thing that I'm working with right now, so it's cool. It does everything automatically. It's on remote on my
that's
phone.
cool.
So
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so here's the next one. Skate Leading Stars.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Go for it.
So that's another sports anime that is more about drama than sports. This one is good, but I felt like there was a lot more that they could have done with it. I guess I would have liked to have seen more of the actual sport in it. They breezed through a lot of the performances, even for the main team that we're following, which was interesting.
True.
So it's like, oh, and then they competed, yada, yada, yada. Like, they yada, yada through a lot of the performances, and it's kind of like, well, but that's kind of the whole point of the show, isn't it? So I wish there had been more performances, really, but I guess they were kind of all doing the same... They do the same routines over and over, so I guess that explains it. But other than that, it was an enjoyable drama. Like, if you like pretty boys and you like a little bit of drama with a little bit of BL, maybe undertones here and there, you might enjoy it. I think it was good. It was good. It wasn't one of my favorites, but it's enjoyable. You know, it kind of like the main character has a little bit of a shonen-esque attitude about him, but I feel like there could have been a little bit more done with it.
That's true.
Like, it was good, but it could have been a little better.
I kind of agree. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because I pressed start on that sucker.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because it was a new thing, made up sport practically. Like, I think in figure skating they don't even have that sort of thing unless it's like doubles. They don't have anything more than 3 people. So it was interesting. It was nice. But yeah, I felt like it could have been just a little bit better. The sequences and the detailing that they went into, actually, like, you know, teaming up, having to pay attention to people and their routines and following their cadence and their rhythm. That was something that I did kind of like. What was that? I forget the white hair kid. His character name. Shirozaki. Like, bit of a snob in a sense, but I mean, I guess you can see it as him being a single skater in the competition, and then all of a sudden, you know, him wanting to find something new to spark his interest and his entertainment and joy with the skating again, and it ended up being this, you know, the skate leading and all that. It was really interesting too, because they had one of the crews or the teams, I should say, they were all idols. I think, right?
Yeah, that one was fun.
Yeah.
That group was cool.
That one was pretty cool. They put on a nice little spectacle. It wasn't like just all like, you know, glamour and movement. Like, they put on a show. Yeah. So that was one thing that I actually did like about that. So, and
see, if there had been more of that.
If there had been more of that, yeah.
Like it had been more of an idol type situation, maybe. Like, maybe
it would have been a little bit more entertaining as a show.
Yeah.
But as a sport, and knowing how figure skating is, maybe they try to be too true to the figure skating.
To what it would be.
You know, to what it originally is. But yeah, that's that.
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all. All right, so the next one we have here, interesting one.
Oh boy.
is a redo of Healer.
Okay.
Take it away.
All right. This show is interesting. We were born to make history. Wait, wrong anime. Yeah, wrong anime. But yeah, redo of Healer is definitely not for everybody. It's interesting. It's one of the writers made a comment in one of her articles about something else. It was more referring to like Goblin Slayer and some other things. But I feel the same way about redo of Healer. It's like there are things that are supposed to be kind of like shocking and disturbing. Like, there's a lot of really touchy subjects. There's a lot of rape. There's a lot of really like dark subject matter. But sometimes you wonder if it's done to please people who are into that. And just the fact that there are a lot of people who are into that is kind of disturbing in itself. Like, some of the things that happen is just like, if this is catering to people who like it, that's a little disturbing. However, if you were to take out all of that messed up stuff, The story's pretty interesting.
It is.
Like, the story's actually interesting. The plot is interesting. If you take out, and one of our writers wrote about this, Christian wrote about this, and how it's really unnecessary, all of the raping and all the sex and the graphic scenes and all of this.
Adultery.
It's just not really necessary. Like, the story could be just as good or even better if we were to focus on the actual social issues that are happening, you know, like the power of those in royalty and this and that. Like, it doesn't have to develop into like a sexual situation. And if you take that out, it's actually pretty interesting. But then if you're not comfortable with that, definitely skip this show. So for sure.
Obviously you think it's well, you know, originally I have a feeling I didn't look up into the manga or the light novel.
It's much more graphic.
It is a lot more graphic. Yeah. I'm not so sure if it's necessarily on the hentai side of it. It just seems just way more graphic, like borderline hentai-ish.
But it's one of those that when it comes out in Blu-ray, it'll be like
most likely completely like a good example that you can put with this is Ishizoku Reviewers. That one. When you look at the manga, it's just like it's flashy. There's a lot of tits around and all that stuff, but they don't show penetration, and that necessarily isn't categorized.
And it's not
as a hentai, you know,
forceful either. Like everyone's doing what they want because they want to, and Reiju healers just know. Lots of people are having stuff done that they don't want done. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the iffy side about it, I think. But
yeah, it probably might be a little more on the hentai side or borderline hentai. I haven't looked into it, but it was pretty cringy. Yeah. I was like watching and just kind of like, you know, like some of the situations, but like 8th episode in, that's when 7th or 8th episode in, I think, is that when it got really interesting. So yeah, I liked it for the story, and everything else is like, oof, you know. But it was a really good revenge story. That's for sure.
It is, yeah. The actual plot is interesting. I like the fox. The wolf girl, she's cute. She's really adorable. I kind of like her the best too.
Yeah, the wolf girl.
And she's like the most innocent, truly, of all of them. Well, no, I guess that demon girl. The demon girl is she's not even involved. I like her. More power to her, but I'm sure eventually she's gonna.
Yeah. All right. So
anyway, next.
The next one we have is the hidden dungeon only I can enter. This one was pretty interesting. It was kind of I don't know what to think, but go ahead. Yeah. You first, please.
So this is what hidden dungeon only I can enter. Yeah, this is. I feel like it reminds me of Super Exeros, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's definitely like for middle schoolers or like high schoolers, and it's like cute and sexy, and like it's like a middle school, high school boys fantasy come true, basically. Is not in a bad way. Like, it's cute and it's fun, and it has like, there's definitely a lot of fondling and a lot of ecchi for sure. If you like your ecchi harems with tons of gratuitous butt rubbing and boobs jiggling, this is definitely for you. It has a lot of funny scenes, and I actually like the relationship between Emma and the boy, whatever his name is. Yes. It's funny that I remember the girl's name but not the boy's name. I like their relationship. They're like, you know, childhood friends that seem to actually have a relationship regardless of how ecchi their interactions are, because of he needs these ecchi interactions to have power, right? So yeah. It's silly, but compared to the previous one we talked about, it's like silly, good, clean fun. You know?
Clean fan service.
Yeah.
I did like it. It was pretty good.
It's fun.
The way that he was using his powers to help people, but then of course, like, you know, how he needed to build up those powers. His was it LP?
Yeah.
And yeah, that one was pretty funny, actually. It was like your soft fan service, if you say. It was, you know, it was there to give it to you without actually being so, you know, in your face about it. Except when he was in training at that school, and the teacher, the girl, like just dry humped him on the ground. What? I mean, granted, he did it because he did well. she was rewarding him.
She did promise that she would do that.
She did promise that she was going to do that, so it was kind of an interesting thing. Other than that, towards the end where you get to find out a little more about the priestess girl that was all locked up. Yeah, that was another one. His shisho.
His master. Yeah, that was interesting. It kind of sucks that they waited until the end for that to come out, though. Like, I wish they had developed that story a little more. I feel like the last part where they talk about the shisho and the chains and all of this stuff, I feel like that was a little rushed. Like, that could have been a little...
That's true.
It could have taken a little longer.
Yeah, I do feel like there could have been a little more backstory into all that stuff. But it is what it is. Yeah. It was good. All right, so now we can go ahead and we can check out the next one that we're going to be talking about, and that is 2.43, 2 meters 43 inches. Or centimeters, sorry. Centimeters. American Imperial System.
Another sports anime. We watched a lot of sports anime this season.
But we've watched almost all anime this season.
Well, we did watch almost all the anime. But anyway, 243 was nice. This is another mostly drama anime, but it's no Haikyuu. In many, 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 many ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Haikyuu in the character design, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. The animation, I know the newer Haikyuu was like a lot improved, but boy, they really went out. They went all out with this one, 243. Like the animation of the ball and the spikes and the kids sweating and jumping and doing all these things. It's like you felt like you're actually there. I don't really watch volleyball or anything, and like you really get into it. Like I was into it, and and like seeing them interact and like compete, and it really brought you into it. And the character dynamics and interactions between the boys, both like Fujoshi sees, like BL ships and whatever, but even regardless, like the bromances between the kids were great, just not in the Fujoshi sense only, but in general. They had a really genuine connection, and it really brought you into the story, not just into the sport when they're playing, but the story that they're going through as well. So I really enjoyed 243, which it has more sports than I normally would like, and I still enjoyed it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you. So for 243, I haven't seen Haikyuu as well. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Definitely a long series. I mean, if I were to get into it, I definitely would probably like look into the cliff notes and see which ones are the best things. Well, that's true. There are. Do the movies cover the series?
Yeah.
Watching the movies, it'll be a lot faster. But yeah, I even talked to someone online where they were saying that this is pretty good, but they preferred Haikyuu a little better. I can understand with the character development being a lot more intense and detailed. But this one did a really good job, especially with the introduction of one of the characters that came back from one of the schools, because I guess he was a little too pushy and a hard ass, because he's extremely determined to be the best and to go to nationals, because it's like a little glee thing. They need to go to nationals, and after nationals, there's the world or whatever. So, but. Yeah, the animation was awesome. The character development was really good that was going on, especially how you got to feel the teams and the team members and their emotions and what they put in, especially at the end when everything was over with. And then just high-spirited individuals that they are. They're tough on themselves, but then they overcome. And I liked it a lot. It was pretty good. Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
Yeah, the writing was good.
All right, and now we got the next one. That is going to be Other Side Picnic.
Oh, Other Side Picnic. Yeah. This one's fun. Mahi, one of our... Was it her? Yeah, I think so. She mentioned, and it's true, and I totally get it. It's kind of like an X-Files. It has a bit of an X-Files vibe, It's like... Except they're both into it. They both believe. But I like how Sora would kind of knows everything about everything that is, what's it called? Urban legends and ghosts and monsters and things. And so that's really cool. I like the idea of the other side. I like how the girls meet. It's interesting. It's kind of like a Monster of the Week type thing, because you do see a different creepy creature each week. But there is an underlying storyline. However... I wish they had answered more questions because we still don't know why Soro was suddenly looking like the dead girl. Well, the missing
girl, apparently.
Yeah, because she's not dead, she's missing, right?
Yeah.
She went to the other side, no one's seen her, and it's like, oh, you kind of look like her, or like, oh, you have this, like, oh, wasn't your hair long? And it's like, no, my hair's never been long. And so that's something that we were all like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? We're gonna discover something soon, and then never. So hopefully that's just to keep us hooked for the second season, which I will watch because I did enjoy it a lot. I like the creepiness factor. Like, even just, I was going over one of the articles about the creepiest creatures and, like, just reading it and thinking about them again gave me goosebumps. It's really good. Like, it's cool. If you like scary stuff and, like, kind of X-Files-y type stuff, you'll enjoy it, I think.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the shoujo-ai, the Yuri stuff, isn't as prevalent as it is in the light novels. I think it could have benefited a little bit of that too, not for fan service, but just for the character development and dynamic between the two girls. It would have been more clear, which is also something that Mahi mentions in her article when you get to read that.
Check it out on Honey's Anime. Okay, so for me, I did like it. It was very interesting. Definitely had a lot of questions along like certain areas. But then some of them were kind of answered as like, oh, it just kind of happens. You know, this is the thing that we need to go to. Is it like, for instance, how they get from the real world to the other side? It's like they have to take an elevator, but they have to do it in a certain order. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be the same elevator or something. But
like different places take them.
But then within the show, it changed a couple of times on them, and you know, it was a little bit of a surprise. Another thing that was kind of interesting that I was like, you know, curious about is that when they go to the other side, is it another dimension or is it like the future or the past? Because there was one scene where the two girls were in a cab driving somewhere, and I think like they both fell asleep, and then their brains ended up linking to where they went to the other side, and the next thing you know, they wake up in a car, but it's run down, beaten.
It's overgrown
by vegetation, and they're in an area that's still very much like the same, it seems, because they were riding along the coast and you could see the ocean, and when they woke up, they were in this rusted out vehicle covered in vegetation, and the ocean's still there. So you're kind of like, is it just like a teleportation thing where they found some time gate that took them to the future? I'm assuming the future because how they were in a car that was fine at one point, and then all of a sudden it's like completely destroyed and everything. And then the fact that they find the soldiers, American soldiers from Okinawa, and they crossed over, and then they've been there for who knows how long. They said months, but then
who knows, really? Yeah. And I thought it was a past because like Station February looks like an old out countryside station, and I figured they're in Tokyo, so why would that station be old? So I figured it was a past, but then Fonzie pointed out the car situation. I was like, oh yeah, I guess that would make it the future, but so we don't know. See, unanswered questions, so hopefully they'll answer them in a second season.
There's like one thing I wanted to point it out too, is that you know how they had that farming tractor that they drove through the gate? They're like, when they did that, I was like, well, what if that's that monster that has those bodies rolled up underneath it? Because it had that same kind of shape and everything.
The soldiers explained what that was.
I must have forgot that then.
Yeah, they explained it was one of their things in their bodies of their... Yeah, it was one of their vehicles. Yeah, it was one of their stuff.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
All right.
I know, there's a lot going on, but... In a nutshell, it's good. Check it out if you like that kind of stuff.
It's really interesting.
If you like creepy stuff. Creepy pasta.
All right, so the next one we have now is Heaven's Design Team.
Super fun. Super fun. This is probably one of my favorite of the season. Not probably. It's one of my favorites of the season.
It's pretty good. It's
probably
funny.
One of the best comedy anime of the season. It's just hilarious. Every episode has you laughing. Like, there are 2 parts of each episode usually, and they go through the design of one animal in each half for the most part, and it's just ridiculous. Like the fact that how they come up with the ideas, not even the requests from God to make these animals are just like, really, guy? And these poor designers are like going crazy trying to do it, and then they come up with these things, and then they're running gags of like things just collapsing because they need more oxygen, because they need more food, because it's too much whatever. It's hilarious, but you learn also at the same time, which is kind of fun. And just it's just really funny. It's relatable, and at the same time you learn a lot of things that even if you watch a lot of like nature shows and stuff, which we do and have, you don't know, and then or you guess. It's like, oh, I know this, it's gonna be this animal, and then sometimes you're wrong, you know. And sometimes it's amazing the things that get approved when you're like, but that shouldn't be, and yet it is. And it's just really funny. It's overall a good show. It's
really good.
If you want to laugh, I recommend it.
So yeah, I feel the same way about Heaven's design team. It was really nice, especially the designers, which are gods. Like Venus and Mercury, Mars was there. And
I don't think they're gods per se.
It seemed like or the angels of God or something. But I laughed my ass off so much. It was so funny. Probably like the most funniest one or episode was had to have been the unicorn one. It was for me, because like that one went through a lot of trial and error, and you're trying to figure it out. It's obviously a mythical animal that we know about from stories. May have existed. We're not too sure, but that was something that was like delved on pretty nicely. It definitely is a learning experience. You get to know, some pretty true facts about animals and the evolution of how they were and what they came to be, and them showing that evolution is them designing it. So it was really funny. The unicorn was so funny. The Cerberus was really funny, and even the last episode with the kiwi, that one was pretty funny too.
Oh yeah, the kiwi's fun, especially because they set it up in the previous episode, and you're like, what? A bird that doesn't look
I know,
right.
and then God approves it just because it was funny looking.
Just like, the reasons for God approving things are, oh man.
Yeah, and then that was another thing too, is that every time he God would approve his assistant or like this, and then like God would be like Sayo or no Sayo. Oh yeah, Sayo. Like it was so funny. It was really good.
Highly recommend it if you like laughing.
Yes, I highly recommend it. I feel like it's underrated because we tried to recommend that to a couple of the writers in some selections that they were doing with the writing, and they were all like, oh, I didn't watch that, and you're going online, and you're like,
and then they watch it.
And then, and they watch
like,
it.
Oh my God, this is hilarious.
It's really good, so yeah, check it out. It is really good. It is really good. Okay, so the next one is So I'm a Spider, So What?
This one's fun too.
Yeah, let's go for it.
This is also one of my favorites of the season. Kumoko is just great. She is hilarious, and I like her spunkiness, and I love the multiple not personalities, but I guess like her different hers that she has. I've always been a fan of that. Like, I've always been a fan of that.
Yeah, for Heaven's design team, don't mess with the giant otter.
Yeah,
that one
seriously.
was pretty funny.
That was crazy. That's one of the things that I was like, what? This is real.
Hey, sorry.
But anyway, for So I'm a Spider, So What? Yes, that one's only halfway through. So, I mean, up to now, it's been really interesting how she's developed. She's obviously becoming an OP character like one becomes in any isekai. It's taking her longer. It's more reminiscent to me of like that time I was reincarnated as a slime. Because it's taking her so long and she started so from the bottom. But it's really exciting to see her. It's just fun to see her grow and develop. And her reactions to things are just so priceless. Like, it's not even about the leveling up. It's just her reactions and the way she takes things are hilarious. And I know the story, it's important what the other kids are doing for the story, but I'm in it for Kumoko. Like, she's the best. She's the best, and I love the intro, and I love the outro songs, and she's just awesome. And I can't wait till she comes out and see what else she does. I wonder if she's going to ever have a human form, because there's that other spider girl, demon lord, whatever, that used to be like her, and now she's a girl, like a girl-looking creature. So
evolved into a humanoid.
So I wonder if Kumoko will as well.
I have a feeling she's going to be. So I'm a Spider, So What? Oh, welcome, Zeke. How you doing? Good to have you here again. How can a spider be so cute?
Adorable.
Okay, but anywho, the next one we're gonna go over is Dr. Ramine.
Oh, that one's fun.
That one is really fun.
This one is really nice. It's like, it's also semi-educational in the way that it uses supernatural creatures and situations to exemplify or as metaphors for mental health issues, you know, like depression or not being able to express yourself, or the loss of like a child, for example, in one of them, and how that can affect a mother into just like closing herself off and not listening to her other child that is still alive. Here, I'll get out so it doesn't cause more problems. And I like that a lot. I thought that was really cool. It's a different approach to things. It's definitely comical. It's funny. It's ridiculous. I like the yokai approach to it. But in the end, it has this underlying theme of really mental health and trying to just make your life better and express, really a lot of expressing yourself and facing your issues and facing life. Mm-hmm. And it's done in a cute, comical, supernatural way that I thought was good. Like, it's
really funny.
It's really funny. Yeah, it has a lot of really funny stuff. So,
anything else?
From that one, that's pretty much it. I like the characters. Like, just
what was your favorite episode? Only because like a lot of the episodes were kind of based on food.
A lot of things.
A lot of them were based on food. Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, I like the one. I think I like the one that's not about food. I like the last one where we learn the backstory of his assistant with the cult and everything.
Yeah,
I kind of like that one the best. I guess that was
true.
food related because he couldn't keep food down because he was internalizing all of this and not being able to say what he was seeing or feeling to his family, and so he couldn't eat because he would like throw up sand, like black sand. So
yeah, it was like black sand.
Yeah, and that one was interesting to me. I really like that because we get to know more about the backstory about the boy. But it's true also how, like, you know, keeping things inside causes you, really in real life, can cause you digestive issues as well, you know, because of the anxiety that it causes you. So I thought it was really good. I like that a lot. I think that was my favorite because we got to see the background of how they met and how it all worked out for them.
That's very true. At first, I didn't even know they went into the past about, you know, talking about this kid. So that was kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Really
like,
interesting.
Who is that? I'm like, it's his
really
assistant.
Interesting. So that was fun. I liked it a lot because based on food, and you have like a lot of the Japanese lore that they're covering with certain things and aspects of people's lives. Not saying what they need to say, not feeling exactly what they want to feel like in life. And then at the same time, you also have other issues that were going on outside of everyone's control in a sense, like where they go into the spiritual world to figure out like puzzles and go through a maze to get these keys. That was one thing. But ultimately, ultimately it was really, really good. My favorite episode has to be the fish cake episode where it was like a long fish cake with the tube because they cook it with the stick. And apparently this fish cake was in place of a guy's penis.
The episode is called Chikuwa Penis.
Yeah, Chikuwa Penis. That one really made me laugh. It was really hilarious. I don't know what to say anything else about it, but other than that, really, really cracked me up. It was downright funny. I had a lot of especially that episode. I had a lot of fun watching it. Funny.
Also, the one with where the blind guy finds the thief. That one was good too.
That was another one where they were schooling him because he had the rabbit's foot or something like that.
Yeah, and he would
made him invisible,
Mm-hmm.
but also took away his human ambitions of decision making and all sorts
and
of things.
And he was disappearing, really, where even if he was there not using it, people wouldn't see him. I think we've seen stuff like that in other movies and shows before, where it's like you use a thing that makes you invisible to the point that even when you're not using it, people don't see you or recognize you or feel you. But the blind guy could still feel him. And so, yeah, that one was cool, too. Mm-hmm. It was good.
Very good. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Another interesting one.
The what now? Says nobody 17.
Yeah, what, yeah,
you heard right.
Yeah, if you watch it, I think it's like
the second
or third episode.
Yeah.
So
hilarious.
You should check it out. It's actually really funny.
Hilarious.
But okay, now we got Suppose the Last Kid.
Speaking of hilarious.
From the last Dungeon
Oh my
Boonies.
God.
Yeah.
So suppose a kid from the last Dungeon Boonies moved to a starter town.
That one's really funny.
Is just the best. It is another one of my favorite anime of the season for sure, and probably one of the best comedy anime of the season as well. It's not an isekai, which is nice, but it's definitely a fantasy, and it's this kid who is from the last Dungeon Boonies and is super OP. You know, we've gotten so used to overpowered characters by now, but this is done in kind of like an almost One Punch Man type ridiculous way where like it's just he's so OP, he goes like that and flicks the biggest monster, you know. But unlike One Punch Man, he's not aware that he's that strong or OP or badass, and so it's just really funny because he's also an airhead and he doesn't realize it. Like he's so focused on his weakness because he's weak in his village, but once he leaves it, he's a badass everywhere else. And other people see it, but he's just such a sweetheart and he's so cute and he's so adorable, and that just no one wants him to really get in trouble or be in dangerous situations. So all these girls, he has a harem, but he doesn't realize that either. And they all just really want to protect him. Well, okay, some of them actually find him attractive.
There are a couple that do want to take advantage of him,
like
in a
married
sense.
to him,
Especially
and some want
that
to take
princess
advantage.
girl.
Yeah.
Oh man, she's
just way older than him.
Thirsty.
Too. Like,
she is thirsty for him. It is really, really interesting.
But it's hilarious. Just the comedy of how he interacts with things because he's so OP and so oblivious is really funny, and the Loli Baba gag is just great.
Yeah, the Loli Baba gag was really funny. That was very interesting, especially how the master and their apprentice were still kind of around, and then you had the apprentice who's the master of this kid, Lloyd, and it's uber funny so in a sense, especially when he's going around trying his hardest, thinking he's not strong enough or anything like that, and then all these monsters come around, and he's always like, "Oh, do you mean this little thing?" and like flicks it away, and
this pest.
This little pest and whatnot. Yeah, flicks it away with the finger. Like nothing. And then
everyone's cowering.
Everyone's cowering away.
Like, can you see him talking?
Yeah, that one soldier who's just in the wrong place at the wrong time, but Lloyd ended up being there too when these monsters were there, and he kills them, and then he runs away to go flee and help others, and then the soldiers there, and then more of the other comrades of his come by, and they're like, "Oh, you defeated this monster! It's like the toughest one. We're promoting you." And like he's like, "But no, it wasn't me.
I can't actually handle it."
Yeah, so they kept giving him more responsibility and entitlement. And,
titles, yeah. They kept giving him amazing titles.
Like, oh gosh, it was really funny, and I really liked how they went to. Lloyd's
Dungeon Boonies?
Yeah, they went to his village and everything, and you're there, and it's like you had this old woman who's like, "Oh, you need to go over here," and it's like, "Yeah," and this guy gets in a freaking cannon, and she aims it at a mountain where he needs to go, and she does her little alchemy, little sorcery thing, and shoots him, like just launches him out like all crazy, and they impact like so hard, a regular person would die, but apparently that's normal travel for them. And
she's like, I'm
kind of getting old with that. And then the fact that a couple of the girls that were there and they were like doing some training, they thought it was intense training, and this old man comes like, "Oh, you're doing our morning workout."
Yeah, Philo, one of the ones that wants to actually marry Lloyd because he's so strong, and she's been studying the style of fighting, or so she thinks, of Kunlun, which is this last dungeon place. And when she shows the old man, the grandfather, she's all excited because he recognizes it. She's like, "Oh, I haven't seen that since our morning workouts. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like she thought she was a badass, and it's like, oh no, that's
It's
stretching. It's basic stretching. It's really funny. That's another underrated.
That one's actually, I liked it a lot. It was pretty
really
funny. Celine, best girl. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. I really do. All right, so that's that. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, and we have Tomozaki-kun, bottom tier character.
Tomozaki-kun.
This one we've heard somewhat backlash, I guess you can say.
I mean, there's what's it called? Conflicting opinions.
Yes.
Of this show.
Yes, conflicting opinions, I shall say myself.
Well, I mean, it's not super original, in regards to it's like a school drama. What's it called? Like a reserved, antisocial boy goes through what's that movie? There's a movie. All That. She's All That.
Oh, She's All That.
It's like basically like She's All That, but in anime boy form, and so it's not like it hasn't been done before. What I like, and I think Fonzy would agree, is that they take this gaming view on it, and so it has a different approach, which is kind of cool because the way that he's like, he hates his life and everything sucks, and he hates life because it's like a garbage game to him. But then once this other girl, when Aoi tries to help him enjoy his life, like she says she does, which later we learn maybe she doesn't enjoy her life so much because she's always trying, she's always putting on this mask. But regardless, she's trying to help him enjoy his life so he doesn't hate it, basically. And she does succeed at that because eventually he does learn. And so it's kind of cool seeing the transformation. But again, it's not the first time. Jellyfish Princess or whatever, Princess Jellyfish, also did something similar except with a girl. That's like She's All That kind of. And so it's kind of that story. Again, it's not original, but the way they approached it is different, and it's good and it's new. It's also interesting that the main girl, Aoi, is kind of annoying towards the end. You kind of like, I kind of disliked her. And some of the secondary characters actually become more likable and more relatable than she is. She's not relatable, really. Maybe at the beginning when you think you know her, and then when you start learning more about her, it's like, oh, maybe not so much. But Tomosaki's relatable to people who have issues like maybe social anxiety and things like that.
Especially social anxiety.
Like definitely identifiable for people like that. And so is his white-haired girlfriend. I forget her name. And Mimimi is relatable too. Like, she's trying really hard, but then she breaks down and she's like, you know what? Freaking, it's hard. Like, I want to be better and I just can't. And it's hard. And it makes sense. And it's cool. I like it. It's relatable for some people, I think.
I think it's very relatable for a lot of people, especially otaku fans. Because, when you are into your niche and your fandom, you definitely, will find likable people in that sense.
Zeke agrees.
Yeah, right?
Aoi and Mimimi, yeah.
Yeah, so the interesting thing about that is like how Aoi takes it upon herself to try and fix this guy, and it's like, well, I mean, you don't know. I mean, technically, he wasn't necessarily happy in a sense. And that's something that he does, discover about himself at the end. But like the whole process of it and everything was a little off in a way where you're like, I really hate this girl. And then you do kind of end up hating her a lot at the end. But man, dude, you love Tomozaki-kun for sticking to his guns and actually standing up to her and telling her that she's the one that's failing in life and that he tried and he's actually doing a lot better than her. And at the same time, he's still number one Attack fan.
So you still are second, girl.
So you're still second. And so, like, he definitely brought her down a peg or two. And I loved it. So, like, the ending episode for that series, it was beautiful. I really liked it a lot, to tell you the truth. And then, of course, there are a lot of funny situations in there, especially when Tomozaki-kun was in the onsen with the rest of the guys, and he stands up, and all the guys are like, "Whoa, dude, you're huge!" Like they even went like, "Whoa, they're huge! Like you're huge!" And then this other guy just stands up because he was like just trying to dismiss the whole thing, and Tomozaki-kun trying to fit in with his cue cards, I guess, that Aoi was trying to tell him to do conversation.
He just reacted.
But yeah, no,
it just happened.
I mean, at that point, he was trying to do it on his own, and when he stands, it's like, whoa, dude, you're small.
You're tiny.
That was just
oh
like,
my god, that was
yeah.
hilarious. That was really funny. Zeke says,
No,
Aoi
this
is
is
about
about-
wearing masks instead of just being comfortable and liking yourself.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, totally. Yeah, you can definitely
And
sense
she's
that.
not even comfortable with herself. Like, she's not even true to herself either. And that's luckily what Tomozaki finally realizes when he hears her talking to this other guy and everything. It's like, you know what? I think you're the one that's wrong here. So good for him. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Good for him, for Tomozaki-kun.
You know, if there's anyone that I would like to see hook up, you know, obviously you said like, and they didn't ship.
Yeah.
It's Tomozaki-kun and the girl that he's actually, you know, going out and spending time with and everything. If not that, then Mimi. Like,
Oh, but she's not interested.
she's not interested in
I
all
would
stuff.
like it if she would
But
date
she
him.
kind of, you know, went through her own issue of trying to be the best, just like Aoi. Even though she's the one apparently that's the best and all this stuff.
But she's true to herself and
But
admits.
she's definitely true to herself and admits to her
things,
wrongs
you know?
and everything else. So
That's why she can never compete with Aoi, because Aoi's fake. And it's like trying to compete with something that's not real. So, yeah, Mimi's definitely...
Aoi told Tomozaki-kun to date the white-haired girl and then dumped her. You
Yes!
know?
Yeah! That's something that we were talking about when the series was happening. It's like, wait. Okay, so you're gonna make this girl like you, go out with her just to train? Like, that's really messed up. That is so
super
messed up.
Yeah, I didn't like that
It was
at all.
selfish and terrible, so I'm glad he's actually continuing like a relationship with her in his own way. Regardless of what they end up being, maybe they are just going to be friends, but still, it's not like that exactly. Like, it's like, oh yeah, date her, train, and then like dump her. What? No. Don't do that, people.
Yeah, don't do that.
do that.
Don't even like play with people's lives in that
It's
sense.
terrible.
This is just horrible.
Don't be that
I don't know what to
Don't be
say.
Aoi.
It's like, yeah, don't be. Okay, so now the next one we got going on is definitely a change of pace.
Cruel intentions, dangerous folks, yeah. Oh, Higurashi. Oh boy.
Oh, Cruel Intentions, Dangerous Lessons, yes.
Higurashi?
No,
was...
Higurashi, When They Cry,
Interesting.
new.
This was the second half, right? Because it started last season. Yeah. So this was the second half. The second half took several turns, lots of turns.
Lots of
It took lots of turns.
very devious turns.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Talk about selfish.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's something like we haven't seen the other things. Like, I don't think we've seen like the other one. Yeah, Nekogurashi. We haven't seen that one and stuff, but apparently they're related. And I mean, I'm sure we would get more of what's happening if we had seen it, but either way, it's like, what is happening? Poor Rika, like, you think that Rika's the one that's looping and the one that's causing all this, but now that Satoko has been brought into this looping situation, it's like, wait, so have we been seeing what Satoko's been causing from the beginning? That's crazy. And it's all just to keep her friend there because she doesn't want her to leave. Like, talk about yandere. Oh my god, this chick is fucking nuts. Like, she's nuts. And it's crazy. It's really cool though. Like, it's really kind of confusing at the beginning of last season, and then this season it's like got really intense when they went to the academy together. But also, Rika is kind of a bitch. Like, how do you tell your friend, your best friend, come with me to the school and let's be together? And then they're there and it's like, oh, bye, I'm going to hang out with these chicks now.
Yeah.
Like, why bring her with you? Well, because that was the only way that murders weren't going to happen. And her looping, it's like, I need to keep this chick with me or everything's going to go to hell. And so she did, but then everything goes to hell anyway. Oh,
There were a lot of selfish acts on both parties, to tell you the truth. I feel a little bit more sorry for Rika in the sense that she had already gone through like hundreds of years of just repeats and trying to find a way out of it, and then realizing, or I mean, maybe she didn't necessarily realize, but then, you know, realized at one point that she needed to get out of the village and go do her own thing. Little did she know that I guess it would kind of be passed down. her curse that she has, I guess you could say, and transfer it over to Satoko. But then, just the fact that Satoko, in the beginning, was already starting to use this power that she has, so to speak, this curse, in already the most devious ways possible. Like, immediately.
As soon as she discovers it.
You're like, holy crap. You're like, this girl's something else.
She's psychotic.
She is psychotic.
Well, but she's the main root of the Hinamizawa.
And then that's also the thing, too.
Or is she?
Well, see, and then there's a lot of, like, thrown theories left and right in the series. That it's a Hinamizawa syndrome is it's more like a psychological thing, and then it turns into more of a virus or like some biological thing that was made and turns people crazy. There's like a lot of things going on right now, but now we know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And
lots of questions.
Yeah, lots of questions. And then I even commented on the website because one of our readers was saying, like, oh man, judging by the next season that's going to be coming out, it looks like it's going to be really, really, really bad. And I was like, Satoko's very devious, and it seems like it's going to be very, very, very bad.
Look, just thinking about it,
I know, just thinking about it, I got goosebumps.
I got goosebumps. She's freaking crazy, man. And it comes out in the summer.
Yes, summer.
Yeah, summer is the Setsu. Sotsu.
When you introduce a yandere to me in real life, I'm out.
Oh my god, yeah, seriously. Seriously.
I wouldn't want to meet a yandere either.
Yikes.
And if it so happens that you do meet a yandere, just always be on her side.
Just be nice as you walk away. Never turn your back on her.
Never turn your back.
Definitely.
Just be like, and then she asks questions why. It's like, because of your beauty.
Honey, beautiful. I'll be right back with a beautiful gift for you. Love you. Bye.
Yeah, and then peace. Run away.
Get on a plane. Get as far as.
Seriously. All right. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one, and this one's pretty good too. So we got Kemono Jihen.
Kemono Jihen. I love this.
Kemono Jihen.
I like it.
Very nice.
It's definitely a shonen.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love. I like it. I like it a lot. The characters are adorable. Kawane is just so stoic.
Super likable. You feel so sorry for him, but at the same time, like, the guy holds his ground.
He's so funny. Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm.
He does. He holds his own, and he's so, I guess, ignorant to so many things that he's super honest. Like, everything he thinks, he just says, and that is very likable about him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love that. And Akira is just so cute and adorable, and
very much so.
I just hope he finds his strength, which he's working towards for sure. And he's adorable. And then the whole story with Shiki, that was really cool. The story with Shiki.
With
he's
Shiki.
the one that we knew the most of until we learned more about Akira. And
Shiki's
story is like really heartfelt, and Akira's brother's story is like really messed up. Like when you realize what was happening to him and why he wanted his brother out, it's like, oh my god, this poor boy is getting like abused every night by these psychotic women.
Yeah.
I guess that would be my only thing that I didn't necessarily love about it is the portrayal of this village full of women. They're all like needy, and it's like, I'm beautiful, right? I'm beautiful, right? I'm more beautiful than this one, right? And then I didn't like that so much. But other than that, everything was really funny. It was funny. It was interesting. It was heartfelt. The backstories of the characters are interesting and heartfelt and good. And I like the yokai inspiration and theme for it. I love that so much. I like that Inugami is a tanuki and that his arch nemesis is a fox, and it's great. Oh, and the fox girl is just best girl in that show. She is just
adorable.
Like a puppy.
Bit lost, but
she's precious.
Adorable.
She's precious.
Yeah, she's great. So I mean, I love the series as well. I think it's great. The characters are awesome. Kavane, he's just he's my guy. He's my guy. He's very, very stone cold emotions, obviously, because he hasn't really been around anybody. He hasn't developed them so much, but he's learning, how to show emotion and receive it at the same time. He's determined. Granted, he's pretty blunt with his wording, but he's straightforward, and I love people that are straightforward. I don't want people beating around the bush or anything like that. That is just ridiculous. Yeah. And then like the situations that they have going on so far, Akira's situation definitely has to be like one of the most intense ones. But Shiki was very heartfelt. So glad that his stepfather got what he deserved.
His uncle.
Uncle. Sorry,
crazy
his uncle.
Bastard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that guy was a crazy punk.
The foxes took care of him.
Yeah, but at the same time, I really like Akira's story too, especially how they were in the snow village and how his brother pretty much kind of sacrificed himself to free Akira from the situation, especially when he found out that Akira like hit puberty. When he told him that he was in bed, he's like, "Oh, I peed my pants," and it's like, "But it was white," or something like that.
And then he's like, "Are you sure it was pee?"
And he's like, "Are you sure?" And then he realized, and that's when like the story unravels that it's just like it's an all-woman village, and any other man that's not like I don't know, like a worshipped upon or something like that, like a chief.
They're only born every 100 years.
That's true. They're only born every 100 years.
It's the only time they can have kids.
The only time, right? But intense. It was great.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. So now that we're trying to figure out a little more about Akira's brother and the whole situation behind him, that's something I really expect out of the second season, and I'm looking forward to it. Very much so.
I forget the vampire's name. I was trying to look for the vampire's and I forget his name, but oh my god, I love him. Totally underrated character. He's great. He just lives in a basement and plays video games all the time. He's so smart, but he's a little bastard. But he's cute. He's adorable. He's the best.
He is. And then UQ Holder, believe it or not, we hadn't seen that one.
Oh. Is that one that's kind of like, it's pretty shonen-y, kind of like for younger audiences too, I think. I know they are, but I like it. We haven't seen that one. But I guess
we'll probably check it out though. Thank you for mentioning it. For sure.
The vampire is a dick at first. Yes, he is. I am gonna. That vampire is a dick at first with the little card, and he just puts him in danger. Little conniving bastard. But he's great after. He's okay. He's okay.
He disgruntlingly means well.
Yeah. He's super cute too.
All right, so the next one that we got going on is next one's great. This is Cells at Work season 2. Oh,
the regular one.
Regular one.
Okay, this one is good.
Regular one.
This one is great. As always, Cells at Work. Even the first one was amazing. We also get a semi-monster of the week type thing because we meet a different virus or a different thing, right? Of course. But this time we had the little lactobacillus, the mascots, new mascots for it. They're so cute. They're like
like good bacteria that exists in you,
in your body, it's like these 3 little guys, and then they end up saving the day in every situation, which is really cute and adorable. Really cute. But it's also true because good bacteria are what help you fend off certain bad bacteria and other diseases, even. And then we get to see the return of Cancer Cell, which is crazy. Right, and it was scary.
That's true. Yes. The return of the Cancer Cell. That was something interesting.
That was
especially. Here.
It was interesting, and it was interesting because you thought that he was gone, right? But then he comes back, and you're like, oh no, this is actually going to happen. But then guess what? Good bacteria helped fix the environment so that it didn't overgrow.
Yes.
And it's great. All our favorite characters are there. We hardly saw red blood cell in this one, which I was fine with. It was more about the white blood cell and the regular ordinary cell and these little good bacteria. Yeah. So I liked it. It was great.
I second all that. It's really good. The good bacteria, the little microbes that are in your body that help you out. That was a nice little journey to experience, what each one does, especially how some of them help out with H. pylori in the show that we find out that's like something that attacks your stomach and your gut and everything. That ended up being really nice. And then you had another one that helped with what was the other one? I forget what it was. It was some other virus, and I can't really remember completely. But then You also had the other one that helped out with your immune system.
Basically, the whole like intestinal area, like
basically
it helped
stomach
balance
intestinal
everything
region and
out
everything.
so that
because
things
you
function
ingest
properly.
food, all food has bacteria on it. To tell you the truth, the second you take it out of the fridge and you cut it, there's stuff on there. I don't know what to say. That's just life. But that's why you have these, good bacteria in the body to help fight it off. One of the things that I found that was really, really interesting and I liked a lot was the fact that you had that one cell that it saw the cancer cell as one of its own and was protecting it from the T cells and the white blood cells. And you're like seriously. And I guess it's because like the cancer cell in this person's body was I don't know, probably like a hereditary cell.
Well,
or
it's
something.
made out of your own cells.
It was made out of your own cells.
Normal.
And it looked normal
To
and that
her.
was to her, and that was the whole battle between it all until like something clicked finally, and it was like an irregularity that she noticed, and the next thing you know, she backed away. T cells, white cells.
It's because when killer T cell becomes memory killer T cell.
That's right. Yeah.
It is able to show her, like, she realizes, oh wait, you're different, because he attacks cancer cell, and now it looks different. It's like, oh, you're not the same cell. Mm-hmm. Boom.
That's
and
right.
It's great. I just love how they anthropomorphize the cells and the viruses and everything. And yes, Zeke says, you cannot make me feel sad for the cancer cell. I felt sad for cancer cell in the first season.
Just a bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a cancer cell.
It is a cancer cell. It's gonna do bad later on.
You kind of feel bad for it a little, but then it's like, no. I'm sorry, but no. You got to go. But yeah, it's definitely a recommendable. If you like the first one, you'll definitely like this one. I somehow even feel like it was better, except for the fact that it was much shorter. I think it was just like 10 episodes. Or 8.
No, 8
even.
episodes.
8 episodes.
It was 8
so
episodes.
short.
That was a tragic thing about
It
that.
was the only bad
It was only
thing.
8
It's
episodes. Definitely would have loved to see it go for the full 12, but yeah, it
was good.
It is what it is.
It was good.
It was still very good. All right, and then now we got the next one, which is its sister show. A little bit darker though. Cells at Work Black.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man,
Oh
if-
man.
This wasn't a PSA. I don't know what was or what.
Yes,
it is.
you know, we love educational anime, and so do Japanese people. That's why they make these. It's been established that Japanese people were asked, if we make educational anime, will you watch it and learn from it? And people said, yes, that's awesome. And so they make these, right? And this one is just the complete opposite. While the other one is like an action comedy, this one's like a drama seinen. The other one's like a shonen comedy, and this one's like for adults, more grown up, and it's serious. And even the H. pylori that Fonzie was mentioning earlier is all cute and rounded and adorable in the other one, and in this one it's terrifying. Like, it's just like
Terrifying.
just monstrous kaiju looking thing.
Yeah.
There's
Kaiju
just
worm.
like all the cells are miserable and they move slowly.
Stressed out.
Everyone's angry at
Yeah.
everybody. People like, instead of, oh hi, bring me my oxygen, it's like, fuck off, bring me my oxygen, you stupid cell. It's like, whoa, relax, And then there's death. We lose one of the cells, and it's
man.
just terrible. And just
Pretty
one
emotional.
last thing. Oh my god, the ending. No. Like, so sad, so traumatizing.
After credit ending.
Everything finally gets better, and it's like, yay! Oh, this guy finally learned his lesson, and this body is gonna be healthy, and all these cells that have been trying so hard are gonna have happy lives. And then guess what? They get transferred to another body.
Yeah, because I guess
worse body than the one they were in.
Yeah, worse body.
Unfair.
All because they were now antibodies, and
Yeah,
they're technically there to help. It makes you wonder how, in this sense,
that
especially
sucks.
with the body that's so much worse.
Unfair.
I really like the show a lot. It definitely, it really makes you think, especially to take care of your body much better than anyone probably could be doing right now at the moment, especially if you're always eating fried foods, drinking a lot of alcohol, and smoking all the time. They even covered unprotected sex, because they had the first instances of gonorrhea happening, and Gosh, that was one thing, you know. So there were a lot of stuff that were happening that is just really bad for the body. But the only thing that like really hit me hard in a small sense is like when they went over to the penis section and how they were supposed to the blood cells are supposed to go in and enlarge the penis.
Oh, to cause an erection.
To cause an erection. And then they're all like, oh yeah, we gotta do it. We gotta rush in there and go in and expand and stuff like that. And then the next thing you know, they cut and it's all like, oh, here's the pool of sperm. So that's where they go and shoot through. And it's like, oh, so they do it with the help of Viagra.
Oh yeah.
And then like the sperm is on their way and they go and they're like, oh, job well done. And then one cell comes and he's all like, oh, but you know, what if it actually wasn't for getting a woman pregnant? What if it was just regular masturbation and now they just went to their death? And you're like, you're like, right.
All those weird little duck-looking things. They're so creepy.
The way they drew the sperm was a bit creepy.
It was
Just a bit creepy.
Yeah, they were. Nobody17 says the way they represent cancer cell in this anime is like a zombie who used to be human with a conscience intact. Yeah. Well, because that's basically like a cell. A cancerous cell is a regular cell that's become like overwritten and it's just not acting like it should. So that's great. And Zeke says, I love the girls in the liver, and I just have to say, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, they were great.
They're sweet. They're like, you want to go there and hang out and be there and be taken care of by them. It's great. Condoms are everyone's best friend. Yes, please. Please be careful, you guys.
Practice that.
And episode 3 of Cells Were Code Black is the best episode. Oh, it's that one, the swans. Yeah, but not as beautiful as swans is an understatement. They're so weird looking. So weird looking.
Yeah, it is a bit of an understatement. Yeah,
they're so weird.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised when conventions in the world go back to normal.
The people dress up.
People are going to be cosplaying those sperms probably in droves. And going to hang around in groups and just run around.
Like their little white swimming caps.
I'm calling it now. That's going to be a cosplay sensation when we can all go back to conventions.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, it's going to be so funny.
That'll be nice.
Alright. Okay.
Alright, what's next?
What's next here? We got... Oh, this one. I Promise Neverland.
Let's make this quick.
Yeah, you go first.
Okay, so Promise Neverland. It started really exciting and really cool because we've been waiting for a long time. It's like, oh, fun. Okay, let's see what's going to happen, especially because we kind of got a preview of things from the manga. And I know it's not the same, so I knew not to expect the same. But it was honestly very rushed. It was just so rushed. It already felt rushed at the beginning, like halfway through the season, where it's like, oh, these demons are going to help us do this. It's like, oh, we already found the place. We found the pen. We found this. We're saved. Oh, and everything just happened so fast and so conveniently. And then you get to the end, and they literally rush through years in a minute. And it's like, and there you go. It's done. It's like, what? Like, what? Yeah. Conversations that took seconds or minutes to happen should have been arcs. You know? Like, arcs. At least a few episodes long. And so, unfortunately, they definitely could have done a better job and not rushed it. So, I mean, it ends, at least. If you want it to end, if you want to have closure, watch it, but you are going to be like, what are we fast forwarding through? Why? What happened? No.
Yeah, so I have not read the manga except for like the first 2 volumes, and I loved it a lot. It was really good. But then of course when do you watch the first couple of episodes when they get out of the farm and they're running around in the forest trying to survive, and then they meet Mujika and the other guy, what was his name? I forget his name. Sonju. And so that's where things, were pretty good. And then I find out online that after that point, they just skipped like a bunch of stuff. And I was like, really? I was like, well, I mean, it was pacing kind of well at that point. You were watching it and you're kind of like, okay, this is okay, I guess. I don't understand. I mean, I understand that, certain series will go ahead and they'll leave parts out just so they can kind of get to the point or not linger around on something so much, especially if they have an agenda to like fit in to 3 seasons or something like that. But definitely, hands down, the last couple of episodes and them just, well, no, the last episode really, like, just skipping through so much content. You're there with them being like, oh, we're going to stay here and try and make things better. You guys go to the human world. They're in the human world. They have, like, the one Trade Center tower, the new one that's there. So you're like, oh, it's in the present now, I guess. Okay, so this is the present human world, and you're going to this other world where the demons are. The dimension, I guess you could say. But, like, you really wanted to see all of them.
Happen.
Emma,
yeah.
Norman, like, all of them. You really wanted to see what they were going to be going through. And not even that, just breezed by it so much, and the only thing they focused on were the kids in the human world, basically, and them growing up. Like, that was it.
And just like rushed, like not rushed. Even giving you details.
Like, they show all of that in the span of like 5-7 minutes, and then, like, that was it.
And it's like, yeah, the 3 main kids, right? Emma and Norman, and I don't know why I forget black-haired boy's name, but then there's like, oh, we're gonna stay because we want to change the world, and it's like, oh, okay, and it's like, oh, okay, so the next season is gonna be them changing the world, and then no, they just breeze through it. Oh yeah, we made a pact with the demons, or we assume, and now Mujika's the princess, or we assume, and then they come back and it's like, oh, now we're in the human world and everything's fine. Bye, the end. What? Like,
yeah.
What? No, I wanted to watch the whole thing happen with the demons.
It was super rushed, so I didn't like it.
No. Disappointing.
It was a bit
sure.
disappointing, to tell you the truth. Alright, so the next one we got is a good one, though. Jiu-Jitsu Kaisen.
That was great. Okay, Jiu-Jitsu Kaisen this season. It was also the second half of this season, because it was 24 episodes, I guess.
Yes.
And it continued being amazing with the animation and the drawing and the characters and Gojo, and just it's just great. One of the highlights of this was definitely it was just such a great season. I mean, it's full of action. Like, the whole thing is full of action. The comedy's great. The animation's awesome. Some of my favorite parts were the Todo and Yuji bromance there, with Todo being like, we've been friends since middle school. It's like, well, no, but okay, sure, let's do that.
And Todo's in his own world in that sense.
So funny. That's great. I like, what's her name? Dang it. The girl.
Which girl? Red-haired girl?
Yes, Gojo Sensei is hot. The with the hair. They're the Sakura of the team. But she's great when she wants to beat up the punks.
Oh, no.
Beat up the punks from the high school. And my brother is Todo. That was great. And then this last battle with the brother, not demons, whatever they're called there. The
3 brothers?
Curses. Yeah, the 3 curses. Well, we only got to see the 2, but that whole battle was really good.
That was really
learning Fushiguro's background story. See, like, I remember all their names except for this girl. Mai? No, that's someone else. But anyway, oh my god, so many highlights, full of action, full of comedy, so good, heartfelt backstories. Awesome. Loved it.
It was pretty damn good. I liked it a lot. Jujutsu Kaisen was really good. Especially coming from, the same studio as Attack on Titan, MAPPA. They did wonderful. And the animation was awesome. So the opening and the ending videos and music, woo, so good. Especially the ending song. I really like the ending song. But yeah, Todo definitely was quite the character. It just made me laugh so much. I think one of the funniest takes that I have from him is when they were playing baseball, and that one little baseball scene, and then he pops up and he's just there ready to go, and then the girl on the other end just socks him one right in the face with the with the baseball, and you just see it slow motion. He's just there.
And Yuji holds him.
Yeah. Yuji holds him and is like, "You okay, Toro-san?" It's like, "My brother." Like all that. But then the action sequences that they had with the other curses.
Kugisaki, is that the girl?
Oh man, is it Kugisaki? Kugisaki, gosh. Again, 24 series that we were watching this season. Great. I can't remember all, or we can't remember all of them. It kind of sucks. I really wish. At the same time, I'm kind of bad with names here and there too. Just in general.
in general.
Just in general. But I can't wait. They announced Jiu-Jitsu Kaisen 0, the movie. I've read the manga. I actually have it right over here underneath my desk right now because I'm gonna talk about it with our next manga podcast. Stay tuned. Whenever you're ready, Zeke. Just let me know. Yeah, but I'll be talking about that. I can even talk about a couple of other things. I've read a bunch of other manga too. But I'll also be creating more content. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. So,
that should be fun. That movie.
Yeah. Dude, they really hate you. That one, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's so funny. That was a really, really funny scene. It was a really funny scene, yeah.
She's pretty great.
Okay, so that was Jujutsu Kaisen. Next season, pray to God they're going to have a next season.
Yeah, of course.
They better. And let's just hope we don't have to wait 2 years like we had to wait for Attack on Titan when the first season was airing. But
true.
Oh man, that was something else. Okay, so the next one we got going on is Skate the Infinity.
Woohoo! Pretty boys.
Very nice.
Skating. Awesome.
Liked it.
It's colorful. It's gorgeous to look at. Lots of bromances there too. Lots of shipping for sure. But mostly it's fun. It's fun. It's a really fun series.
Especially if you're a skater.
Yeah, I can imagine if you skate, you definitely find it especially interesting and fun to watch. And if you're a girl who likes guys who skate, then you also will find it interesting. There are definitely a lot of... he is a guy who skates. There are definitely a lot of bishonen in it. All kinds. Like, if you're a guy who skates, you love it for that reason. If you're a girl who just likes pretty boys, there are so many. There's every type from shotas to, like, muscly ones to cute ones and everything. Like, there's everything. And it's funny and it's heartfelt because you see the drama and the bromance between Becky and Nanga, and it's great. And it's like, oh, skating has lost all its purpose because my best friend said here. And it's like, oh, they're so cute. The music's great. The art is gorgeous. The animation's really good. The storyline is great, and it has a lot of funny parts. It's definitely, I recommend it. I love it. Yeah. Absolutely love it.
There are definitely a lot of BL undertones in there.
So many.
This one over here is squealing
love it.
So much in certain situations. I'm just like... And then at one point, like, I think like either I or she said it, we were all like, just kiss already. You know?
I mean, there's so many things in there.
Yeah, and they're just like up close and personal.
It's like, well, just go.
Just kiss already, for Christ's sakes. But I loved it a lot. Being a skater and seeing the underworld skate scene that they created in that was wonderful. You got to actually see the transition from a snowboarder going into the skating world. That's something that's very realistic, believe it or not, because me being a skateboarder, and when we were living in Japan, we went to Sapporo and we tried snowboarding. We just looked at YouTube videos to see how we can do it. Liz did great. She did great. Me being a skater and then seeing this, I did pretty damn good. I thought it was gonna be a little bit tough, to tell you the truth, but no, yeah. So me, experiencing that transition from skating to snowboarding, and in this show, you're seeing snowboarding from skating with Ranga. It was awesome. I liked it a lot. And then Adam, man, he's got like a roller coaster of emotions just running through him in certain aspects, but I blame his aunts. His aunts aunts were very they were horrible, manipulative, devious to their own needs, but while using him in this sense. So it's like I don't know, but we're at like episode 11 12 is gonna release, I think, like this weekend or
Yeah,
next
that's
week.
right. It's
so,
not even over yet.
so it's not completely over yet. I can't wait to see
So
what
they
happens.
might still
to tell you the
kiss.
truth. They might still kiss. For all the Fujoshis out there, they might still kiss.
Joe and Cherry Blossom are also a
Yeah,
nice,
Joe and
nice
Cherry Blossom
pair
are
there.
cool. Like, oh yeah, they're all pretty good. They're all pretty good. All right.
Gleaming the Cube, the animation.
Oh,
I can only see 3 pairs of romances.
adding out some moves
Oh,
while
wait.
skating, though. I agree.
I know when he does his little flamenco
His
thing.
flamenco matador. And it goes up, but man, he is horrible too.
He's
He'll just
awful.
like run,
Oh my god.
stop, pick up his board, and freaking smack someone in the face. He'll just whack people with the board. It's like, come on, man. Like this guy, I don't know about this
It's not
guy.
even skating anymore.
It's
Joe and Cherry are a love and hate relationship. You know, I think it was Mary Lee that said they bigger like an old married couple. We don't know that they're not an old married couple also, is what she says. And that's true, you know? Love and hate are very, very similar emotions.
But then, you know, Adam, Cherry, and Joe being like the original 3 back in the day, and they had a good relationship going on, and then, you know, you got Adam being very self-centered and doing things on his own after that, and just kind of broke the band, you know?
Yeah.
He broke up the band. Oh, but anyway, yeah, it good show. I recommend it. I really do. Next one we got going on right now is Res Zero. Oh no. Slime. Reincarnated as a slime. I looked at the thing from my screen. It was a little small, and I just jumped to conclusions right away.
Oh my gosh.
By the time I got reincarnated by a slime,
I got
season 2.
reincarnated as a slime, season 2, aka Tensura. This is really good. I've loved it from the beginning, from the first season and everything, but I like the turn it took. It's definitely gotten much more serious. Like, it's not just a little slime being cute and like making friends and making them OP. No, it's like, okay, now he has a town, and it's like, okay, now what? And now war happens, and he has to like make these liaisons with other countries and other places, and death happens, lots of death. Like, there's just so much on the line all of a sudden. It went from being like a kind of like a happy, feel good isekai to, oh my god, like there's so much on the line. What is happening?
So
and it's
much.
so good. Like, the way that they're handling it is amazing. He's still becoming OP and creating OP creatures left and right, but in a different tone, in a different way, without losing still some of the comedy and all of these other things that it's had from the beginning. It's great. I can't wait to see the next part.
I can't wait either. I loved it. It was super good, especially now that you know Remiru had developed his nation. He became very good friends and allies with other nations that were around until, you know, you find out that one of, what was it, the dwarf nation in the mountain, I believe it was, or the king there. Well, no, the king there like warned him about the kingdom of Falmer.
Oh yeah, Falmos.
And so it's like when he had warned that and saying that the king's very greedy and all that, I was like, I wonder how this is gonna turn out. But then he got the Devil Lord, no, not Karyan, that one Demon Lord.
Oh, well, he's the one that's
the one that's actually
ruling
pulling the
Falmos.
strings.
Yeah.
God, see, I hate the names.
But just keep going, I'll find it.
But anywho, so, you know, he's pulling strings now, and you're trying to figure out what's going on, and then he's influencing the humans, the kingdom of Falmer. And then you also have, was it the church? You know, like, you have them being involved in it now.
Clayman.
Sorry.
Sorry.
There you go, Clayman.
2 hours later.
Demon Lord Clayman. So you have that going on, and just because you know those facts,
Shadow?
things just crazily took a turn for the worst. And I would like a lot of the villagers in Rimuru, his
Rimuru.
nation, huh?
Rimuru.
Rimuru. Oh, Rimuru. God, see. Okay, sorry guys, don't hate me about this. Again, 24 series we were watching, and it's hard to keep track of all this. But yeah, his situation where a lot of the people in his nation died, and then like in a very, very like scummy way too, to tell you the truth.
They were awful.
Awful.
Gosh.
But seeing him overcome becoming a demon lord himself and reviving everyone was wonderful. That was super good. And then I like the twist at the end too, where he brought back the dragon,
Beldora. Beldora's back, and he's hot.
We just get a little taste. Just get a little taste of his appearance, and he looks pretty cool. It's pretty sexy. Hot, like she says, I guess. Yeah, and then that was it. So now we can't wait till the next season. I can't wait. I think it's gonna be so cool, to tell you the truth.
Minum. She's great. She's beautiful and she's great.
Funny.
I agree.
She's ridiculous, and it's interesting how she was easily swayed. They had a little short pink hair girl. It was easy how she was.
Blue hair.
Isn't it blue hair?
Yeah, the aqua-haired girl that was originally betraying them because her heart was taken by...
Is that Milena? I thought Milena was the pink-haired girl.
No. That's Shuna. Oh, you mean Milim, the demon lord?
Milim, yeah. No. The demon lord girl, Milim.
Oh, Milim, I thought you were talking about the...
no, Milim.
Not Mulan. I was thinking Mulan, not Milim. Sorry.
Names, I swear. Okay.
Milim. Oh, yeah, she's great.
Milim,
yeah, I love her.
Milim is great. I liked in the first season how she was easily swayed by food. That was it.
Well, she's too easily swayed, clearly, because now who knows what's going on with her.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
It was so good. It was so good.
If you've not watched That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime up until now, you have time to catch up before the next season comes out.
Yeah, sorry, spoilers. Obviously, we're talking about post-season. It's known. So
you're not gonna remember any of this when you watch it.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
All right. Now the next one we got is World Trigger Season 2.
We're blurry a little bit.
Are we?
Aren't we? Oh, my computer's blurry.
Your computer.
World Trigger. Okay, this one should be easy because not a lot happened. Not in a bad way to me because I like it. I'm a fan. I love World Trigger, hence why we're watching the second season. But
it's really good.
It's all action all the time. We mentioned this when we did the So Far Hivecast, and it's just like, all right, season start, go, and it's like battles, you know. So it's like the competition still between the schools and the different teams to get to go to the away mission, basically, because they all still want to go to that. And there was just a lot of action, and of course, Tamakoma 2 has been advancing through the ranks quickly. We saw a lot of not only physical action, but also, we saw how much stronger they've gotten, but also a lot of thinking. That's what I like, is that it's kind of like chess-like, almost, you know, like they have to come up with strategies. It's more about strategy and tactics than it is about how strong your power is. And I think that's why I like it. And so hopefully Tamakoma 2 will get on the team by the end of the season, and then by season 3 we can actually see them go to space and do what they need to do.
Very, very true.
But it was good. It was great. If you're following it and you like the first one, this is a great continuation.
Yeah. I definitely have to say, if you did not watch the first season, it's quite a bit of episodes. I think it was like around 56 or something like that, 54, 56. The new season was awesome because it just jumped right into it. Picked up right where it left off.
No fillers.
No fillers, no nothing. It's just like it hit the ground running, and that was
sorry. Thank you.
But I loved it a lot, actually, just because of that factor. I also liked how they were delving in a little more into the story of all the parallel worlds that were coming in from like what the Medians and the other races that are around. So that was really nice. I didn't like it so much that's kind of where like the main story kind of ended, and it just went back into like the tactitional competitions that they had to see which team is going to be going. But that kind of dragged a little bit for me, but it was pretty fulfilling because you get to see a little more of like the tactical manners and abilities that the team was actually developing. Kuga, you know, he was great as always, and you have the captain. I forget his name. Megane-kun.
I should bring it. Keep going.
Oh, which, and then Megane-kun. You got him. He's actually doing really good. Very
Mikado.
Smart. Mikado. Yeah, there you go.
Mikado was a badass.
He's super smart. Oh yeah, and this is a Kuga.
It's a
little
gift I got
gift from one of the writers
one of
to
our
her.
writers. He's my desk mascot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It
He's
is
the
pretty
best.
cool. So yeah, the series basically just left off on to see whether they're gonna actually finish the competition, so they can be one of the few teams that are gonna go into these parallel worlds and find out like what the heck's going on. You know, try and get back. What was it? Kuga's little friend, Replica. Because we all know he's still alive. Come on, he's still alive. Replica's still around. I guarantee
They're
it.
using him.
Yeah, and then you also have the one of the bad guys that was there. I forget his name now too. Gosh, see now World Trigger has so many characters. There
Like
are
each
so
team
many
has at
names.
least 4 team
3 to
members.
4, and there are like 10 teams. It's like, come on, man.
And then you have all the bad guys.
And you have all the bad guys. You gotta remember them.
And then the bureaucrats.
And
It's like it's a lot of characters.
It's a lot of characters, but when you got him going over and joining some of the teams, or at least one of the teams, so that they can he can guide them, but he won't really give up all the information about it. It kind of left off there, and you're kind of wondering what's gonna happen. And I'm
The
pretty
blonde,
excited.
right?
Yeah, the blonde one with the horns.
I like him, and
He's pretty
I know
cool.
his name because I know I've said it before.
Oh, gosh, he's got so many.
Hughes.
There are so
Hughes.
many names.
Hughes. His
Hughes.
name's Hughes.
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 Making that face.
The little faces they make.
It's so
I love
funny.
it. I love that show.
All right.
Anyway, what's next?
All right, next one we have is a pretty damn good one. Dr. Stone.
Dr.
Season 2.
Stone.
This one.
This one is fun.
Awesome.
Also.
So
yeah, this is a great season. Yeah, I mean, this is another one that just picked up where it left off. Like, no waiting, no explanation, no anything. Just kind of like, all right, let's go. And then they started, and they finally went to... Okay, this is the only thing I didn't like, I guess. Like, it did pick up, and then they prepared to attack Tsukasa's kingdom, right? But then once they got there, it's like... The season is called Stone Wars, correct? And then the actual Stone Wars last 2 episodes.
I kind of know where you're going.
And then it's like, okay, we're here. We're here. And then they have their gorilla tank, whatever. And it's like, we're here. And then next episode, we're still fighting. And then, okay, we beat you. Now we're friends. Let's go. It's like, what? Like, that's it? That was the war? Like, the war lasted 2 episodes. But I guess... when you're using science and you want no collateral damage, it's the best way to do it is the faster the better, right? Oh, jeez. But so that was the only thing I didn't like. Is like I expected a little bit more action than the war part of it, and it wasn't. But other than that, it was like really nice, heartfelt ending to the season, though.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was it was pretty intense for this season ending. Crunchyroll brought on Carrie from Mythbusters to examine the science in
that's cool.
in the podcast. See,
Oh,
I
that's
didn't
cool.
see it. I did not
know
know
that.
about that. Thank you for telling me. I might even go and watch it after
Yeah.
this. But yeah, no, the I'm pretty sure that a lot of it is pretty accurate. Of course, they give you that warning in the beginning of the show saying, it's like a work of fiction in a sense, or don't try certain things at home. Obviously, they're not going to delve in exactly on how to do everything, but a lot of it's pretty accurate, educational. You can learn quite a bit from the show. But I liked it a lot. I loved how they were even building up a team to convert some of Tsukasa's allies on his side and everything. That was pretty funny. The creation of a telephone or a cell phone or something. Oh no, I still had a wire. Yeah, so a telephone. And then they were making grenades and bombs in a sense that weren't necessarily lethal, but just had a huge explosion
Just
to
to
like
scare 'em.
discombobulate people and scare them. And then what else?
Gen's imitation of the singer.
Gen's imitation
That
of the
was
singer.
pretty
Yeah, that
funny.
one's really
I like
funny.
that.
But then, if you really think about it, with Bakugo's dad, one of the astronauts that was with them...
Not Bakugo is the wrong
Sorry, not
series.
Bakugo.
Senku?
Senku. One is Senku. Because his dad... Isn't his dad the... Bakugo? I forget his dad's name. Well, anyway, Senku's dad, when one of the astronauts that is with him is the girl. It's
The singer,
It's the
yeah.
singer. So... They went back to Earth and they repopulated the area and all that. I definitely have to say to that singer girl, all the blonde girls that are in that village that are like the priestesses or the princesses, they're her descendants basically. And I mean, even though they were imitating the singer and the voice to get some people over. I mean, if they're there and they see that girl, they're probably gonna be like, "Wow, you look so much like her," and if they find out that she's a descendant. It's like solid for at least that one woman that they were trying to bring over. Well, I mean, they did bring her over after a while. Yeah. But the ending was really good because there was there ended up being a little bit of an inside coup, and and that was really interesting. Yeah, Hyoga, I think it was his name. Yeah, that crazy punk. Gosh, and you know what? One of the funniest characters ends up being like a bastard, but at the same time a sissy, just
the cop?
Cowardly is that cop.
That dirty cop?
Dirty cop guy. Man.
Jerk.
Yeah, he's a punk. I don't know what to say. He's
like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do this. Is like really just like that. Like just like that. We're supposed to like look past everything.
Yeah. Oh, come on. This guy he's a snake.
He's a scumbag.
He is a scumbag. All right, so
just a quick parenthesis on that. Like, I'm really excited that now they're setting off in the ocean.
Oh, right.
And they're going somewhere else.
Sailing.
And that's really interesting to me because I wonder what they're going to run into because obviously there are humans that have come out of petrification somewhere else.
In other areas.
So that'll be really cool. And seriously. I wonder how Tsukasa's going to survive. All that whole thing with Tsukasa and his sister and that's just...
That was super touching.
It's really good.
Yeah, that was
This is another
really,
one that
really
if you
touching.
haven't watched the first one... I recommend you catch up and binge it and watch
the
it
second one
it's so good.
It's good. Really good. I liked it a lot.
What's next?
They are making a manga prequel. I have the prequel manga with me. Viz Media sent it. We have it on NetGalley, Zeke. One of the writers.
Yeah, it's already there.
Actually, there are a lot of titles on NetGalley. They should probably be focusing on because a lot of that's going to be really good.
They will run into the people from Seven Seeds. Right?
They will run into the people.
Well, I kind of feel like Senku's dad and them are...
In that sense,
part of the Seven Seeds.
Yeah, I think they kind of are, to tell you the truth.
Except there's only, 5 of them?
But yeah, when they go out to sea, I'm sure they're going to run into other settlers, just like actual, natives, and then probably some that were unpetrified,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's so good. Okay, so the next one, we got Wonder Egg Priority.
Okay. All right. So Wonder Egg Priority is beautiful to look at. It also has pretty interesting topics with the whole dealing with suicide,
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, especially because in Japanese culture, it happens a lot for a lot of different reasons. Which brings me to my next point. Why is it only girls? It's the whole, girls are very emotional. Girls are very flighty. They're very, that's why they kill themselves. And it's like, no, a lot of people kill themselves.
For several other reasons. It's just not,
There are also, exactly. And so there are a couple of things, a couple of observations that some of our writers have made is maybe that, besides that, portrayal of women in general, and also a little bit iffy on their portrayal of LGBT members of the LGBT community. But other than that, they tried. I feel like they're trying really hard to do something that nobody else has done.
Mm-hmm.
While it's a little Madoka-ish at the beginning, it's really not. It does have the monsters and the twist and the magical girl kind of feel to it and the deep psychological messed upness of it. But it has some other interesting aspects there that could salvage it to a certain extent. There are some things that's oh great, they might be over sexualizing the girls a little bit too much, especially considering how young they are. Every single thing kind of goes back to some male sexualizing these little girls and driving them to whatever it is that happens. And that's another thing to say, well, that's not always the case. However, now that we kind of know why it's happening and who's behind it, I guess that could be how she's choosing. There's an AI
that
involved
those two
in this.
Akkas built.
And it was a female. It was a little girl. And she developed, but that's the thing. It's she developed these unhealthy sexual feelings for her
creators,
creators,
I guess, in a sense, yeah.
And that's kind of weird. And so maybe that's how she's choosing the girls, and that's why they have that in common. I don't know. Either way, it's kind of weird that that's kind of the theme. And the end, which is not the end, because the actual last episode is going to air in June 29th for whatever reason, because this doesn't actually end, and it's really like it leaves so many questions unanswered, and it's just, it's cool, it's interesting, it's pretty to look at, the art is gorgeous, the animation's beautiful, but there's a lot of stuff that's just kind of like, what? Like, just basically, what is the end of that? That's all I have to say. I
liked it. I thought it was pretty interesting. The concept of, you know, having to go back into a realm and help girls mainly, that have all killed themselves for like whatever reason. They're there talking with them most of the time is where they kind of like, you know, they unravel the situations of why they ended up killing themselves in some senses, while also protecting them from the world that is trying to I don't know, quote unquote, send them to hell. And they're protecting them so that they can pass on and be at peace in that sense. So, I did like that concept. It was really interesting. Man, it did have that Madoka Magica, the Puella Madoka Magica sense to it. It was really nice. It did start getting a little more intense later on, especially when you have, like, you know, the 4 girls that are going over and doing the thing because they have to work individually with the eggs. And then you start you start knowing more about the development with the Akkas and the world that they created, and how it's just like, it seems like they're just somehow transferring to an artificial world that they ended up, you know, developing themselves, or at least the AI that they created developed this world, and them two are trying to find the answers. It's got a lot of twists. The last episode, I don't know. It didn't answer anything.
It just raised more questions.
Like, and you're like, oh, no. I guess the only thing we can you know, definitely be at peace with is how she ended up, you know, overcoming her own, you know, insecurities in this sense, becoming more of a better girl because she ended up seeing herself and having to protect herself, and then also at the same time figuring out or realizing more. What her friend situation that committed suicide by accident, and so to speak, because they're like, she was just like playing playing with death basically, and technically it didn't sound like she wanted to die. But then with the glasses, albino? No, with the glasses, the girl with the long hair and the glasses that was also part of the teacher, the art teacher, and how they were friends. Names, man.
Well, that's another thing too, is like when they face the girl that, because they all kind of have a girl or something that when they face it, and they face their own issues.
Yeah,
each one of the girls faces their own issues by helping these other girls, and once they face their own issue and they get over it, they're freed from this, but it gets like really violent and really bloody, and it's like this AI, now that we know, like it's like this AI doesn't want them to get better or something. It's just really twisted. It's twisted and it's crazy, but it's interesting.
And then you have the AI, and then you see this other character that shows up with this, just like, I don't know, like some dragonfly kind of girl, has like this bug face with like wings coming out the sides. New character, doesn't delve on her at all. All you know is she's super OP, kills their spirit animals, and
and then like, she's created by the AI girl.
That's see, I'm assuming that too.
No, like, it's because they say their names are Dot and Hyphen or something, and they're the ones that she created.
So this AI girl is
the one that's causing everything. Yeah. But hopefully we'll get some answers in June 29th, because if we don't, I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I'm going to run out of battery on my computer. Zeke says, in anime, they're cuter to look at. The girls, I'm guessing. And then sounds like a Judy Pelicotti book, Lovely Bones. Oh, I don't know. I've never read that, so I wouldn't know. But that sounds crazy.
Read that, yeah.
If that's what it's like, then that sounds crazy. All right. How many do we still have? Oh my God, we're
4 more.
like 3 hours.
Yeah,
4 more. We're almost done.
Actually, grab my plug and plug mine in at least. It's right here.
Oh, okay.
That wire.
Do you want to introduce the next one?
All right, yeah. So the next one that we got going on, it's our 4th to last one. So this is almost over, guys. We have Jobless Reincarnation. That one is a good one. Actually, I like this one a lot too. This one was pretty interesting. Yeah. Let me go ahead and go first. I did like this a lot. It was like it's definitely a show that you're gonna rediscover yourself, especially if you've led like a poor life or just like an unfulfilling life in a sense, because this guy ends up being you learn later on is that he ends up being like a scum in some way, lazy, a perv and whatnot, but he has like a change of heart because of the way he is, and he was out in public, and then all of a sudden these group of girls, or at least one of them, they were gonna get hit by like a car or a truck, and he started developing a human conscious in that sense, and then we got a friend. So he started developing a human conscious, and then he saved these girls and stepped into their place, and that's how he died. And then he wakes up in this other isekai world, and obviously, yeah, he retains his memory and everything, and then like he starts living through this life. He learns to be a better person. I liked it a lot. I thought it was great. Go for it.
You just spent the whole minute
So the
explaining
Ellens
the
are good.
intro.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was great. That was like the main point that I really liked.
Really that he redeems himself?
Yeah.
Well, that is basically what it's about.
Basically,
really. It's
yeah.
like, that is the actual, in Japanese, the title is something along the lines of, I'm going to do better this time.
Yeah.
In this reincarnation. Because, he was kind of like a crappy person, and now he's better. But even though there's a lot of ecchi and perviness, and apparently it got banned in China because it has a couple of iffy situations there, it's really good. It's really interesting. I thought it was just going to be another isekai, but it's really mostly about him kind of like developing to a better person. Because, for example, with that little redhead girl that he's with,
that little girl.
He has the chance to kind of like fondle her for his birthday or whatever, and even he is like, you know what? That was wrong. I shouldn't have done that.
Realizes
it's
that.
like he realizes it, and it's nice to see him change and grow through it. And it's definitely different than most isekai. It's definitely serious. It's not a comedy isekai. And there's a lot of that, something like somebody was saying earlier too, is like the prejudice between certain... Like we talked about it with slime, for example, between humans and non-humans. And in Mushoku Tensei, they also have a lot of prejudice between different races and where they're from and this and that. So it's really interesting also to see that. But it's pretty good. It's better than I expected it to be, honestly.
And then I think like we had a reader on our website that had said that, isn't this banned in China? And I was like, yeah.
Oh, hey,
for
Josh.
adultery and something else.
Yeah, for adultery and and that he fondles a young girl.
Yeah.
She's like 14 or something, but he's 12.
Infidelity or something.
But not really, because he's really like in his 30s, so it's kind of
gross. Oh, so Zeke, this is my oldest cat. He's gonna be 14?
13.
13. In like a few months.
Good.
Really quick. His name is Oni.
Oni.
It means demon in Japanese.
And they know what Oni means.
Just in case. But yeah, his name's Oni. He's one of 4.
So Zeke says, woo, it's an excellent isekai. The light novels are great. Yes, so I hear. I hope they do it justice. Kitty, yes. Amanda must know the name of the cat. Oh yeah, Oni. His name is Oni.
Oni cat. So
Josh says, hi. Happy Friday. Hi there, beautiful birthday couple. I think that is what I would do if I got an isekai. Improving myself for the better. You would hope. Happy Friday. Anyway, Oni cat. That's exactly what I call him. Yes. Oni cat. He's the Oni cat. Morning, cat. Okay. So what's next?
All right, the next one we got is probably one of my favorite ones.
Oh yeah, this is good.
Horimiya.
So good.
Oh,
Horimiya is
so
awesome.
good.
Horimiya is awesome. It is a romance shonen, and it's full of funny moments. That's really? Not the point of it, but it's full of funny moments.
It's comedy
really
romance is what it is.
It's definitely a rom-com.
So good.
But it's also, like, we've talked about this with other seasons, romance anime is, but I think Horimiya just, like, goes up and over and beyond everybody else is how relatable the situations are. Like, these characters are so relatable, even if you're not in high school anymore. It's like you remember when you were, or just the situations are so realistic, you know? Like, it really does feel like that kind of situation would happen between two people who are attracted to each other, especially in school when you're still kind of young and trying to figure things out, and you don't want to be awkward, but you kind of are, and you don't know how to say things, but you kind of try anyway, and it's just great. The dynamic between Hori and Miyamura is just hilarious because, you know, he's like kind of introverted and kind of shy, and she's definitely not.
At least in school.
At least in school, right? And then he's like a badass outside of school, and he's just also hot again.
Tattoos,
yes,
and
definitely
and everything.
Sexy anime guy for sure. Best boy. # best boy. But their dynamics are great. The thing with, oh my god, some of the most comic moments.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. Yeah, I
can go forever.
I'll just start on my funniest moment is like the scene because like, you learn that, you know, they start being a little more into the dominating side of a relationship.
Well, it's because someone talks about it. Miyamura is like, oh, can you imagine him being like rough or this and that? She's like, oh no, you don't have to be like that. And it's like, although she imagines him being rough and like violent with her, and she's like,
she gets turned on about the idea, like, and so she says like, you can
rough me
up if you want. And then, you know, it first started verbally being all like, shut up, you bitch.
And she's like,
come with me, and she's there like all blushing
so
and everything. And then at the same time, like when he's talking with some old middle school friends, and he runs into them while they're in high school, but they're not going to the same school, I don't think. And so like they're there, and then like this, you know, Hori comes up out of nowhere and be like, oh hey, and then he's like, shut up, bitch, and like slaps her and grabs her hand and just like walks off. And she's blushing. She's like so happy. She's like,
like she can't believe it.
Yeah, especially when they're in the hallway too at the school. And one of the kids that knows Miyamura is like asking him for advice or talking to him about something, and like Hori comes up, and it's all like, what are you doing here? Shut up, get out of the way, bitch! Like just like tosses her to the side, and she's like, oh, and then like he's like, oh, yo, I should do it. No, don't mind her. She doesn't pay no attention to her.
Yeah, don't talk to her. Ignore her. And she's like just there like. Super turned on. It's hilarious. Like, definitely.
You can totally relate to the high school analogy of trying not to be weird. Oh, you know?
You know?
Yeah, I think everyone kind of goes through that in a sense. You know, everyone kind of goes through that in a sense.
I don't know about everyone, but I'm sure a lot of people do.
A lot of people do, but yeah, it's just something.
Nobody 17 says, if a girl asked me to say or hit her like that, I seriously couldn't. I think that's what makes it funny with Miyamura, because he's like that. It's like he doesn't want to. For the longest time, he doesn't want to, and then finally it's like, okay, well, if that's what you want.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do that.
It's at school, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I don't
oh
yeah.
My God.
Like,
can you imagine? You'd get in trouble.
I could, like, honestly, I can't even, like, talk dirty about girls behind their backs or anything like that. You know, like, guy talk, I guess you can say. Like, when I hear it, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Good for you, dude.
She's cute. Sure, yeah.
Aw, you guys are so sweet. You definitely can't date a Hori. Alright, yes, definitely best of the season, Zeke.
Yeah,
I think so.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
It's such a great anime.
Okay, so
I want more.
Moving on to our next one.
Moving on. Oh, this was really
Save
good
the best
too.
for last too. So we got Res Zero season 2. Now it's Res Zero. I make no mistake of that, like I did earlier.
Yeah, that's
by
definitely
accident.
Res
Sorry.
Zero this time. Res Zero season 2, part 2 of season 2 was awesome, amazing. This is another anime that took a completely different turn from where it was at the beginning. Because we started with, like the return by death from Subaru, and just kind of like that's what he was doing, just like dying to get things done. And then in the last part of it, he realizes that maybe he shouldn't have been doing that, and what the pains he's causing and everything. And so now it's even better because it was kind of an easy way out, and so now he doesn't have that. Well, for him, yeah, for him. And so now he doesn't have that easy way out, and so he has to try harder and do things right, and just it causes more of an emotional struggle for him and for everybody in this particular reality where he's still alive for now. But it also, finally, things are moving on, because it seemed like he was, by doing that looping, he was just kind of keeping everything stuck in one place. And so now things are actually moving on, and not only he moved on and opened his mind through Echidna's messed up things, but also Emilia was able to move on.
Yeah,
and move
she was
through
finally
her
able to
traumas and
complete
her
the trials.
everything. And so she was able to complete the trials. And then every Subaru Rem fan is now sad forever, because clearly that's not going to happen. Rem's still in a coma, or vegetable, or whatever she's going through.
I am so sad.
And Emilia Subaru are definitely canon now. So
super canon, right?
Super canon.
Man, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. All I have to say is I did love it. It was mind-blowing, the fact that how he kept, killing himself to reset and try things all over, and not realizing that he's leaving timelines behind where people are suffering about his death. Like there are repercussions every time he killed himself in the timelines that he was creating and all that. So that was, like, when they showed him, or when they showed, like, a memory of him doing all that, and especially how Emilia was going through it, like, I was like, damn, like, that is crazy stuff there. But definitely, going from, like, the first part, from, like, the last season up to this part, man, those rabid mob beasts, like,
the great rabbit?
The great rabbits, like, like, that was some scary stuff right there. But of course, jumping a little bit more into it, you had Beatrice, where she finally overcame her loneliness and just waiting there for nothing, and finally depended on someone, or well, not so much, but just became more herself and more aware that she didn't have to be that way, and seeing her powers and how she killed all of those rabid mob beasts or whatever the heck those great rabbits.
She's a badass.
She's a badass. Man, she is tough. She is cool. If anything about Emilia, I love the backstory we find out, because you have Beetlejuice. We find out, like, how he came to be, in a sense. Like, that was awesome. You find out how that Puck was actually her foster mom.
Is it though?
I would imagine so. Like, I really would imagine so, because apparently, like, her mom is that one girl.
We also don't know. Well, her mom is her aunt. Fortuna, the mom that raised her, is her dad's sister.
But, like, no, she was one of the witches.
The one witch that looks, like, just like Emilia.
I would imagine so.
That's her mom.
But it's so weird, because didn't like one of the witches that was that blonde girl that was, like, pretty tough, and I forget which one she was, but she grabbed her by the back and said, "Don't turn around, because I don't want you to see, like, how I look and everything." And she didn't seem like she was the mom, but I don't know.
Not her.
Yeah, it was not her. But then was it Garth? And Garth and his sister. That was a wonderful story too. You get to find out about them. Like, oh, that was great. I liked it a lot. And then, yeah, Zeke, I saw your comment. Even after everything that happened, you still hate Emilia.
Yeah,
or you don't like her. Yeah. I
don't like her either. But what you
she's
gonna
okay.
do? What you gonna do?
She's okay. She's the queen now, or whatever, the princess. So and just Subaru's
I love
just
that.
blinded.
Otto equals best girl. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Rem has been working hard for Subaru. She does deserve it, but she's not gonna get one, so sorry. Cruz should be queen.
Be nice. Gosh.
I'm sad too, but we know it's not gonna happen. I'm sorry, but it's not gonna happen. I don't know why the blonde witch is very motherly to Emilia. Yeah, the whole there are all these witches that one of them's her mom, obviously. I'm assuming it's the one that looks like her with the hood that we have hardly, because she's the one that gave him the power, and she's the one that gave Subaru his power and all this
too, at
stuff.
One point, yeah.
So I'm assuming that's her mom, her actual mom. And then, but yeah, the Pitamzeus story is crazy. It's so sad. Like, there's so much sad backstory there. It was great.
I liked it a lot.
Also, can't wait to see the rest of that, because where could it possibly go from there?
Right?
Oh, and Ram confessing to Roswald.
Oh, Roswald. Yeah, Ram.
That was also
Ram and
great.
Roswald.
There's so much romance in this season.
Yeah, a lot of romance is just like appearing and taking a turn for the worse in some situations.
Yeah. But everyone's okay, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's really
that was surprising.
Good, actually.
It was surprising,
that was really good.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, the white-haired one, right? He says, Zeke says, I think her mom is also the witch that killed most of the other witches.
Yeah.
The white-haired one, 'cause she looks just like her.
Rest in peace, Garfield's left
to rot. Yeah, I know. That sucks for him. See, it's like, I think Garf feels like all of us Rem Subaru fans feel. Like he gets it.
Yeah, I can totally relate with Garf. I see myself in Garf in that sense, and that sucks.
Because he can't do anything about it. He's just like, okay, well.
But he's OP.
Well, he is. He's a badass.
He killed that vampire witch. Like, that was an awesome battle. Inside the mansion was burning down. Oh man, that was
finally
so cool.
that Elsa's dead.
that one.
Jeez.
Oh goddamn, she was a pain in the ass. I didn't like her so much. She was so devious, but obviously a major part of the story.
Clearly.
All right.
Was that it?
No, one more. The last one.
Oh, this is the last one. Okay.
Save the last one for last. The best one for last. Sorry.
I thought that. Oh.
Yeah, the best one for last. Gosh.
Oh. Is it? It is. Don't get me wrong. Yeah.
Titan.
Attack on Titan was awesome. So
man,
cool.
Attack on Titan.
But then now we have to wait for the rest of it. But yeah, definitely. Seeing the time skip was interesting. What's his name? Eren with his facial hair and all the craziness and
all grown up.
The historical parallels that may or may not be going on in the story are interesting for sure. With the different countries oppressing the other certain types of people and like marking them with the armbands and all this stuff. Like it's interesting how they're doing that. But oh my gosh, that little girl, Gabby, you just want to punch her in her stupid little face, especially when she kills our favorite potato girl. And just, oh my god, no. I just want to beat her up so badly. But the story's been, it continues. Attack on Titan just continues to turn and turn every time. And every time you think you know what's happening, like with Zeke, not this Zeke, but the Zeke in Attack on Titan, you're like, oh, okay, we know what's happening, and then something else happens. The Levi scene with Zeke, that's really cool. There are a lot of really amazing, epic fights throughout.
A lot of really interesting things that did end up happening in there. I did like it. I liked it a lot. I know you guys are saying like the first few episodes were kind of boring or just odd, confusing. For sure. I mean, technically it kind of was, but then if you look back to those episodes to what you know now, they all kind of fit in like a puzzle. To tell you the truth, especially with the characters that they were introducing, because you're like, why do I want to know about these characters and whatnot? But as of now, like from the last episodes, episode 75. Not necessarily the end of the season, you know, they all played like this major role. They're all part of it, or at least they're in some sort of role where you're gonna like feel some sort of semblance with them because of what they're going through. I definitely loved the whole story unfolding around Zeke. Gosh, that is so intense right there. You say you prefer Zeke the dog from
I don't know what that is.
HOTD. High School of the Dead. Yeah. And the blonde hair. Well, yeah, I mean, slightly different stories, I guess you could say, or themes in that sense. But no, like, I liked it a lot. The story behind Zeke and how he found out that how his dad, was basically Eden's dad.
I know, that's crazy that they're brothers. What?
It's like, yo.
What?
Like, I honestly, like, with my theories after going through everything, I was almost feeling like Zeke was Eden's dad at some point, but definitely a relative. Like, I saw this connection, like, a while into the series, or into the season, actually. And man, that was so intense. I liked that a lot. The infiltration into Marlin, the territory, to take back Eden and Zeke for certain reasons, and then you find out that Eden and Zeke have an ulterior motive when they go back to the Eldian island, and they start, things start unraveling, and it was really intense. It was pretty cool. There are a couple of things that are a bit unanswered. It's more along the lines of the royal family and what they're actually doing right now, in the sense, because we know about how that one girl is a Historia, how she's now like the new bloodline for the Titans or something like that, or the royal bloodline, and now she's part of this factor that they need to deal with. But other than that, I mean, there's a lot going on.
It's so good. It's so interesting. Like, it just sucks that we have to wait to see the rest. And then especially because the season ends in like the beginning of a battle, and it's like, God, Titans, and it's like pretty intense. You have to wait. And it's like, oh,
pretty intense. And then honestly, there's like this. There's this back of my mind where I'm like, Annie, even though she's like in this crystallized cocoon kind of thing, like, she's gonna come back. Something's gonna happen. Well, if someone eats her, and someone is. So you have that Jaw Titan that showed up in the last scene that almost ate Eden. Like, at least he took his legs before and all that stuff. Yeah. He has the bone structure and the ability and like the strength to break the diamonds, because that's what they did with that that one pilot with that. I forget that Titan name.
That's right.
So now that he's there, they discover Annie. He can get her out of that. And then Annie's brought back into the picture. But then, who knows what's going to happen, because obviously she's Eldian under Marlin territory, that, like all the other ones, where she's brainwashed, just like everyone else.
Oh my God, they're so brainwashed.
Like, they're so brainwashed.
It's so sad.
You can see it in Gabby. Oh, man.
It's so sad.
Like, I hate her, but at the same time,
but now you kind of start feeling bad for her
too, because she is super uber brainwashed, and it's just, I don't know. Oh man, that's just something else. Yeah, and that's true. Like, your feelings for, like you said, like the beginning, the first few episodes are like, what? Who are these? What? No, why do I care? But now you realize why you cared, and now you start feeling things towards these kids, that not just hating Gabby because she's terrible, but I mean, she's terrible because she's brainwashed. Like, what's she gonna do? And it happens. It really happens. I know Zeke from EOT has a mission of his own, but he could have planned better without killing a lot of people.
The thing is, I think
he's planning a euthanization thing, though, so that's part of his plan.
And I think Eden's kind of brainwashed himself at this point.
Yeah. Like,
at
this point,
he's not himself. I don't think he's normal. Like, he's not being himself fully either. Someone got to him too.
Zeke the doggo is the best doggo.
He is the best doggo. Doesn't Eren have the Warhammer Titan?
Oh, it's the Warhammer. Yes. So he has the Warhammer Titan abilities. We'll see.
So he can get her, but the Jaw can also crack the crystal, right?
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. It's so interesting. And then this is episode 75. Episode 76 isn't coming out until 2022, next year. So it's like, we gotta wait a whole year to see if there's... Well, it's part 2. Not to say there's gonna be any conclusion, but there might. And if it's
called the final season. It should have ended.
It's true. It is called the final season.
This is BS.
That's what we can assume. It's definitely... I have a theory that it's episode 76 when it airs next year. It's not going to be 25-minute episode. It's going to be probably an hour, like a 45-minute episode.
But it's not going to be just one episode. It's going to be several episodes.
Are they going to have several other ones?
Oh, yeah. It's not gonna be like one direct.
I did hear that they're gonna be like 4 or 3 more or something like that.
I think it's 4 episodes.
But we'll see.
I think it's 4 episodes.
Again, we have to wait a year.
Why? I don't know. But I mean, I guess.
At least it's not 2 years. Like from the first season to the second season. So yeah.
Okay. At the same time, the Marleyans and other countries attack their island first, so they attack their countries in self-defense. That's literally a movie episode. Oh, yeah. They might make it into a movie. Oh, they're gonna make it a movie. They might pull an Evangelion and just finish it with a movie. That's possible.
Well, at least with Evangelion, you know, it's not like it ended and they're like, that's the end of the story, and people rioted and.
I've got to get going. Go show. Zeke says. Okay, bye, Zeke.
All right, Zeke, take care.
Thank you for stopping by.
Really appreciate it.
We're probably going to be finishing up soon. We're just going to do our top 5s for the season. Top 5s for the season, yeah. Because that's basically all we watched. I don't think we missed anything. I mean, a couple of shorts.
There were some returning series that we actually didn't see the first season for, like Log Horizon. We didn't delve into that.
We skipped a lot. Like Idly Pride, we didn't do that one. We didn't do Azure Lane, Show by Rock.
Dragon Crest one. We didn't watch that one.
It's really good. We didn't watch it, but I know it was a really good season. A lot happened. There were a lot of character developments and action and things. But yeah, basically that's what we watched. That's what we enjoyed. It was a lot. But if we're going to do a quick top 5... I have more than 5 on my list, so I'm going to try to just say the 5.
Go for it.
Definitely Horimiya. Horimiya has to be, like, probably number 1. No, not probably. Yeah, it's like number 1. It's my favorite anime this season, Horimiya. And then, oh, man. From there, I don't know if I can give them numbers, but let's say that Re:Zero is probably a number 2-ish. And then... tied at number 3. I'm going to say Supposed Kid from the Last Dungeon Boonies because it's freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
So I'm a Spider, So What? Because it's awesome and it's crazy and it's hilarious as well. And I'm really interested to see what happens. Skate the Infinity because of everything that we talked about. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. All the shipping and pretty boys. And Heaven's Design Team because it's hilarious. One of my favorite comedies of the season. And then at like number 5 on its own is Kemono Jihen. But I did want to include it because that's one of my favorites this season, believe it or not. So those are my favorites of the season.
Okay, so my favorites, no numbering order. I like them all equally. They're really great. A few of them are mainstream, but I do very much like Horimiya. That one was really, really good. I liked it a lot. The other one that I really liked was Jiu-Jitsu Kaisen. That one's freaking great. The animation was awesome. Re:Zero was nice. That one had some more of a conclusion. Definitely something that we all needed, to tell you the truth.
It could even end there.
Yeah, I honestly think it could end there, to tell you the truth. I really, really do. The other one that I do like was definitely Skate the Infinity. That one was so good. It was fun to watch. Yeah, I really, really liked that one. Thinking just a little bit more, Slime. The time I got reincarnated as a slime, that one I liked a lot. That one hit the feels kind of hard in certain areas, Gokuto and all the other monsters and demons that ended up dying, and then the other ones that were suffering. It was like, oh gosh, I like that one a lot. And then just the cherry on top, the Verdora coming back. Oh, yeah, that one was really good. So what's that? That's 4. All right, so then the last one. Heaven's Design Team.
Yeah.
That one was really good.
Yeah, it's definitely top 5 material.
So yeah, those are definitely my 5. Those are definitely my 5 right there. I love them a lot. Let's see, Jason. Let's see, Nobody 17. Number 1 was Heaven's Design Team. Awesome. World Trigger. World Trigger was right up there, but again, I like the first half of it because it was like continuing the story, and then it kind of just went back into the competitions and tactical planning and everything, and I was like, oh well, I mean, we kind of already know this.
Yeah, I only didn't include it in my top because it's kind of like in the middle of a story, and it's like I enjoyed it, but it's the middle of a story.
Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for the rest.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so. And then you said 3 Horimiya, and then 4 Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan, that would have been one of my top 5s, but I need closure first. Like I don't,
Attack on Titan?
Like, yeah, the way that it's going right now,
Same.
I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. And then your 5th one was Re:Zero. Yes, nice. And then
Josh says, Skate the Infinity is so refreshing. Something totally new. Right? Isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think on like one of the AniChart websites, it was AniChart. That website.
Oh yeah, for
April Fools, like for Skate the Infinity, they put a Tony Hawk Pro Skater game cover image on
And it's a Tony Hawk Pro Skate with the skate symbol for the anime. It was really funny.
It was really funny. And then at the same time, Funimation had tweeted out on Twitter saying they tagged Tony Hawk being like, does anyone think that Tony Hawk knows that there's a skate anime out?
I hope he does.
I hope he does.
It's
they
a
tagged
great
him.
show.
I mean, he at least knows now, unless his publicist is going through the whole thing and didn't even bother to pass it to him. But yeah, we'll see.
Gotta hype up with Skate's opening. Yes, I love that opening. It's in my favorite.
Because they're playing
anime
Horse,
song
basically, like little dance version of Horse.
It's like their warm up.
So good. Yeah, the music's so good too. And
it's
then
really good.
that one's one of my favorites for the music. OPs, and then the EDs had to be Jiu-Jitsu Kaisen. That one's like poppy, like really nice. I liked it a lot. The animation was really good with the dancing.
That's from the first season, though.
Is that from the first season?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. It was the first season.
The one for this one's like really chill with like
the
he's
first part
recording it on this phone or something.
Oh, that's so good. And then Tony Hawk makes a commentary video on skates. You know what?
They should. Like one doctor that does the cells at work. There's a doctor that does commentary on cells at work.
So better do that. Yeah. Actually, speaking of Tony Hawk, and I'll make it quick too because we're gonna end it right now. Tony Hawk apparently did his last skate move before retiring, like completely. And I think it was like a 540 or a 720. He wanted to try it one last time. The guy's like 50-something years old, going on 60 almost. Yeah, he's old. And so there was a video of him. He was trying just to attempt I think it was either 540 or 720 for the last time. And it took him a while. And he finally did it, broke down in tears. And he's like, that's it. He put up his skateboards, his skate shoes, his skate pad, skate helmet. He's like, I'm done. Yeah. He's
leaving it to the new generation. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice.
Yep. I mean, go check it out. I did see it on YouTube like a week ago or something like that. A few days to a week ago.
Huh, cool.
All right, guys. So
I guess that's it.
That is it. Thank you very much for sticking around. By. We had a little hiccup in the beginning because of whatever.
YouTube.
I don't know. I don't feel like I used the same stream key, but it might have been the same stream key that the Honey Radio was on. But anywho, yeah. Let's see. He's going through his skate trick portfolio and doing every trick one last time. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. But yeah, and then he's like retiring. That's it.
After he's done with that.
Yeah,
oh wow,
yeah.
That's pretty cool. It. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh. That's so cool. But thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Tune in next time. We were going to do a live tomorrow, but kind of busy. So we're going to pre-record our anticipation animes for spring 2021. So just look out for the video when we upload it. Hopefully we'll do that really soon, too, with the editing and everything. Yes. Do you have anything you want to say before?
No, just... we're probably going to edit this together because now it's in 2 parts. So we'll probably take down the live one and then just put up the edited one. And that's it. Just stay tuned for the video of our, what did you call it? Anticipated anime for spring 2021. The season looks just as good as this one. Even better, I think, because there are fewer continuations. So there'll be less competition and new series will get to shine better.
Yep.
So we're excited about that. Just follow us on all the socials, Instagram, Twitter, and all those things. You can find all those at the top right of the website. And make sure to read all the articles.
Yes, follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Join our Discord server. We're in there.
Oh, yeah.
And check the links down below. We got a Patreon that we started. It's just something for donations to show support. Spread the news.
Yeah, and we're going to be on that shirts.
Oh yeah, and then we're gonna have a TeePublic.
So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that. You can
represent
our this awesome design that's
like
back
for
here.
Example this.
Yeah, like this one you can probably get it like on a wall scroll or
a shirt,
cup, a coffee cup, a
phone,
shirt,
a phone
case or something. So Yeah, look into that. We'll see what's up. And then I'm going to see if there are any designs that are original and only done once that we can do to sign up for NFTs.
Yeah.
Ooh, we'll see.
So stay
how
tuned
that
for all of
turns
that.
out. But yeah, we'll see.
We're
how
working
that
on a lot
turns
of
out.
stuff.
All right, then I'm going to play some music and outro for you guys. Again, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it.
Have a great weekend.
See you next time, right, guys?
Next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.